Unfiltered sports talk manufactured locally for the Carolinas.
Lockdown!
This is the Rob Brown Show.
Yeah.
Only on ESPN.
ESPN Upstate.
You know what really stinks for Rob is that great open plays, and then he's got me coming in behind it because he's not here today. I am Dan Scott, filling in for Rob, and technically Rob is here today. It's Marc Ryan who's not here today. Rob will be, I guess, coming in to Marc Ryan's open for Offsides with Marc Ryan from 3 until 7. I don't know. I'm easily confused at this advanced stage of my life. Fortunately, I've got Lonzo here to kind of keep me straight. I don't know if that's as comforting as I made it sound, but that's what we're going to roll with. How are you, Lonzo?
Yeah, that should be of no comfort for you at all, because I'm as scattered as usual.
Well, you know, and I was just thinking, which probably here at Furman's campus explains the smell of smoke wafting from the football building where I'm doing the show today, that you actually are doing a great disservice to those of us in the world of radio, because you're actually working hard. You did a show on another intercom station before this one, and now you're producing this one as well. We don't work that hard in this industry. You know that.
Yeah, well, I have a goal. I've had a goal since I've been here 21 years. I've had a goal to be on all of our stations in the same day. I came close once. So it's not that I'm trying to outwork everybody. I just want to hear my name mentioned in a good way, not in a bad way, on all 7 of our stations.
Yeah, because if you're like me, you can hear it mentioned in a bad way just about everywhere you go, and that doesn't even need to be on the air, right?
Yeah, I don't want to hear a former executive producer at WORD is now in custody for something. Yeah, I don't want to hear that.
Yeah, neither do I, my friend. Neither do I. Hey, it is good to be here again, and this is kind of a precursor of what's to come in about a week. I actually get to do this for a full week, the 27th of this month through October 1st, that Monday through Friday, because Rob will actually be on vacation for that time, which begs another question. It's like the old thing about weddings. You know, who schedules a wedding in the middle of college football season? Who schedules vacation if you're a talk radio host in the middle of college football season?
I will tell you this. He is heading to the Boston area, going to take in some stuff up there, including probably football and baseball and some other things. So it's going to be a sports type trip.
Well, that's fine. But how much of that sports type trip is going to be on the air? My point is vacation is usually done during vacation time, right? Especially in this business. But you know, who am I to say anything about it? He's the one who's got the best talk show in the Upstate.
Yeah. Rob's kind of weird. I mean, you know, so I mean, there's that.
And he'll have 4 hours for rebuttal after this show is done from 3 to 7. So I'm sure he'll have some thoughts on that. We've got what I hope is going to be a good one lined up for you today. Obviously, we've got a full schedule of college football this weekend. So we'll be talking about a lot of that. Since ESPN Upstate is the flagship station for Furman University sports, and I am the voice of Furman University athletics, can you see a connection coming here? I'm not the sharpest knife in the drawer, but I know a little bit about where my bread is buttered. We're going to talk to defensive coordinator Dwayne Vaughn coming up a little later on in this first hour and get his thoughts on the challenge that lies ahead for Furman going to North Carolina State tomorrow night to take on the Wolfpack. And then a little bit later on, kind of staying with the Furman theme, Tom Van Hoy will be in with us. He's my broadcast partner for both football and basketball. We'll talk a little bit of that and some high school football. He does high school football on television here in the Upstate in Western North Carolina. We'll talk some about that. With him in hour number 2. Hour number 3, Gary Hahn, who is the longtime play-by-play voice of North Carolina State Wolfpack, will join us. And Lonzo, I don't know if you're familiar with the late, longtime Hall of Fame broadcaster for the Philadelphia Phillies, whose name just escapes me, Harry Callis. Gary Hahn does the world's best Harry Callis impersonation, and it's not even close. We may see if we can get him to drop that on us. Also, coming up today, we will visit with the ACC expert Dave Glenn, talk a lot of things about not only the league itself and what's going on the field, but some of the off-the-field stuff with college football and the throes of another raid/expansion run. And also, the ACC network is 2 years old now, and they still can't get together with the folks at Comcast Cable. And we're going to talk a little bit about that with Dave. And then coming up in hour number 3, Brandon Bennett, who is a former South Carolina Gamecock and Cincinnati Bengals running back, is going to join us. South Carolina and Georgia get together today, or tomorrow, I should say. And we're going to talk to Brandon about his experience. I think you may hear something coming up in the third hour for you South Carolina and Georgia fans that you're going to be very familiar with. So we'll talk to Brandon about that coming up as well. So, Alonzo, I've done my part. Now, the rest is up to you.
I'm ready to go. Let's do this.
All right. So if you can carry us for the next 2 hours and 52 minutes, I think we ought to be in good shape. But the Dwayne Vaughn interview will be coming up at about, 12:38 in the third segment of this show today. So from a college football standpoint, and we're going to spend a good deal of time in the next segment looking at some of the big games of the weekend, dialing in on what's going on around the Upstate, even with the smaller colleges. But some of the storylines that are out there right now include nationally, of course, University of Southern California firing Clay Helton, 2 games into this 2021 football season, and there have been people calling for him to be fired for the last couple of years. And the question is, who do they go and get? Who do they call now? I found it very interesting that one of the names that popped up, as you thought might be the case, was Urban Meyer, who is with the Jacksonville Jaguars. And he was asked about it in his press conference on Monday, I believe, Monday or Tuesday. And he said, no chance. He is at Jacksonville for the long haul to turn that franchise around. He used the words, quote, no chance. I then saw a national writer on Twitter say that he expected Urban Meyer to make a stronger statement than that. And I'm wondering, how much stronger can you get than no chance? I mean, what did he want? Did he want the guy to, Meyer to pick up a chair and throw at the reporter who asked the question? Did he want him to launch into a 30-minute soliloquy about why he was passionate about the Jacksonville Jaguars? He said no chance. That's pretty cut and dried. And if he now takes the USC job, no chance becomes Urban Meyer is a liar. So I just found that very interesting and didn't really get into the why the national writer wrote that particular thought and opinion. But it seemed to me like maybe he was trying to bait him a little bit. But I just found it a little interesting that he wanted something stronger than no chance, something better than zero. And in my book, if the guy says no chance, that means he's not going. And then if he does, all that does is set him up, again, to be a liar. Now, we know Urban Meyer's track record. We know that he goes places, has a lot of success, and twice he has walked away from top college gigs because of health scenarios. He's gone to Jacksonville, and if you've read some of the things that have gone on inside the Jags camp this preseason, he has not been well received inside the locker room, even among his own staff. I read a really in-depth story just a couple of days ago about how he had, during the preseason, was losing his temper at the drop of a hat. He was playing with the idea that he needed to win these preseason games they're preseason. They're not exhibition. The NFL gets really, really sensitive if you call them exhibition games anymore, these preseason games. His approach to those rubbed people the wrong way, and it was the prototypical, this guy is a college guy and doesn't know how the NFL game is run. It'll be intriguing to see how he adjusts if he does stay in Jacksonville for the long haul. It'll be intriguing to see if he learns more about how the pro game is done, or if he needs to be who he is and the organization kind of needs to adapt to him. They knew who they were getting when they hired him. They knew his pedigree, which obviously is winning football. They knew his personality. They knew his personality quirks if they did any vetting at all beyond just what you see in public, just watching him over the years. So I find it intriguing to see these little stories coming out now about how his style and the way he goes about business is rubbing people the wrong way. And then, of course, they open the regular season. They get beat in the opener. Trevor Lawrence starts, 3 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. It's going to be a growing pain type of season for the Jags. Alonzo, I don't know how you feel about it. I don't know how the majority of the audience feels about it, because we are largely a college football area here, and Urban Meyer was a hugely successful college football coach, not only at Florida, but at Ohio State, winning national championships. So you've got people who are obviously very, very familiar with who he is. If he stays there for the long haul, I'm not one that's so quick to bet against him.
See, I mean, if you've listened to the station for any length of time, you know that I'm from Ohio. I'm from Columbus. I'm a big-time Ohio State fan, and I'm an Urban Meyer fan. So, and has he had some discrepancies in his past with how he's coached and things like that? Yeah, and so have a lot of other coaches. But there are people, especially in the national media, for some reason, who seem to want him to fail at being an NFL coach. And I don't entirely understand that. And it also seems to be that happens a lot when a college coach, especially one who's won a lot, comes into the NFL. Immediately they say, well, it's a different game. They're not going to know how to do things here. I don't think enough blame is being put on Trevor Lawrence for that first game, because he threw some interceptions that were directly to the defense with no offensive player around. And I think there's plenty of blame to go around, but you know, Trevor Lawrence, #1 pick for a reason, because Jacksonville was the worst team in the league last year. And unfortunately, they're that way a lot. It's going to take a while to get them out of the hole. And I didn't expect Urban Meyer to come in there and win a ton of games his first year. It'll take a couple of years. So I think expectations are set extremely high on purpose, just because some people want to see him fail, and I just don't get that.
Well, and they're also set high because of his success at the college level, just like Trevor Lawrence's expectations are probably way too high because of the success he had as a college level. I mean, put this into perspective. The loss that they suffered this past weekend was his first regular season loss ever, high school or college. He never lost a regular season game that he started at quarterback. So that was his first regular season loss ever. So the expectations are a little bit off the chart. It's going to be a learning curve for him, and I think it's going to be something of a learning curve going from college to the NFL for Urban Meyer. I wonder how long the Jaguars will have patience with Meyer, and I wonder how long Meyer will have patience with the NFL game, and if he will be able to adjust his personality. Because he's walked away from 2 college jobs, as you know, because of basically becoming obsessed with the job and the negative issues, detrimental issues it was having on him, his health and his family life and those other things. But he's one of these guys who can't seem to stay away from it. He goes away for a while and then gets back. It was a natural for his name, I think, to be tossed up for the USC job once Clay Helton was fired earlier this week. He says no chance. I'm going to take him at face value. If he takes the job, he'll obviously be just a huge liar and lose all credibility in my eyes and a lot of other people's eyes. I think the bigger story to watch is how long will he stick it out? How long can this ultra competitive, I have a way I do things, college coach, last in the NFL, because he's going to have to adjust some. And then I think also the Jags are going to have to adjust some as well to kind of meet in the middle. If they can meet in the middle, I think he has a chance to be successful. Whether they do or not, whether the Jags management ownership will have that kind of patience with him, I don't know. But I think you hit the nail right on the head as we get ready to go to break here. He has tremendous expectations for a franchise right now that should have none, quite honestly, because they are the worst team in the NFL coming off of last season. So there should be zero expectations for the Jags. But when you draft Trevor Lawrence, number one, and you hire Urban Meyer as the head coach, the expectations are going to be there, whether that's fair or not. I'll be interested to see how this soap opera plays out. If he can adjust and if the Jags can adjust and they can find a happy medium, I think he has a chance to be successful. How long will he stay there? I don't know, but we'll find out for sure. Hey, the phone numbers, if you'd like to join us, 1-844-GSP-ESPN. That's 844-477-3776. And the text line 71307, 71307. And you can hit us up there. We would love to interact with you. We've got some segments of open phones coming up, including this next segment, the final segment of this hour, and in between, coming up at about 12:38, Dwayne Vaughn, the Furman University defensive coordinator, will join us, and we'll start talking a little bit of Paladins and NC State coming up tomorrow night here on ESPN Upstate. All right, we'll get a break, and we will come back with more. I'm Dan Scott on The Rob Brown Show. Right back in just a moment.
The Rob Brown Show. Listen on your Amazon or Google smart speaker. Just say, play ESPN Upstate.
Mad World is open now, ladies and gentlemen. The number one haunt in South Carolina. They have more scares, more scenes, more actors, more props, more set designs, more special effects than ever before. Grab your friends, grab your family, and get ready to scream. Whether you're a kid, a teenager, or just a big kid at heart, you will have
kind of dark in there, so you could probably get away with
their interactive set. And this year's haunt will be their most expansive to date, with one of the most technical and immersive haunt sets in the entire United States, topped off with more scenes, more actors, and more scares. Mad World is not your daddy's haunted house. It's not just a haunted house. There are escape rooms. There are scary carnival games. There are concessions, a bonfire every night, photo ops that are incredible and make for great cards, by the way, a gift shop. And this year, the brand new 18-hole Ghost Town Mini Golf. It is scary entertainment for all ages, including families, adults, teenagers, and the adrenaline junkies at heart. Get your tickets now. Do not wait in line. And yes, folks, there are lines. Go to madworldattractions.com, madworldattractions.com. Don't wait until Halloween weekend to go. Go get your tickets now at madworldattractions.com. It is Mad World.
AutomotiveMap.com presents the Sports Flash on ESPN Upstate.
First and 10, Heineke looks right, throws toward the end zone. Jump ball, corner of the end zone. Logan Thomas with the Seals. Touchdown! Ricky Seals-Jones.
That's the action courtesy of the Washington Football Network. 30-29, the final last night over the New York Giants. Washington improves to 1-1. The Giants are 0-2. Taylor Heineke, 2 touchdown passes on the night, 34-46 passing, 336 yards. He was picked off once. On the other side, Daniel Jones, 22 of 32 passing, 249 yards and a touchdown. Dustin Hopkins was the hero. He made a 43-yard field goal to win it after Graham Gano's 5th field goal of the game put the Giants up 29-27 with 2 minutes left. ESPN Upstate is your home for Burns Rebels high school football play-by-play every Friday night at 7 o'clock. That's the Sports Flash. I'm Chuck Sanders on ESPN Upstate.
Hi, this is Cole Bryson, the play-by-play voice of the Burns Rebels. It's Burns at Gaffney tonight on ESPN Upstate and on the Odyssey app.
The Burns Rebels, powered by your local Ingles Market. 97.7 FM in Greenville, 97.1 FM Spartanburg.
By texting 484848, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Freshly. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at freshly.com/terms.
Wouldn't you love to have a chef prepare your meals? Do all the prepping, cooking, and cleaning for you? You can with Freshly. Wholesome, chef-crafted meals delivered to you fresh. Freshly chefs and nutritionists create delicious, healthy meals that you can select ahead of time from a huge list of options. Order easily online or with the Freshly app, and your meals are delivered fresh to your door, perfectly prepared every time. Just heat your meal for 3 minutes, and you're ready to indulge.
After a long day, it's great knowing that I don't have to deal with the hassle of grocery shopping, meal prepping, cooking, or cleaning. Freshly has really simplified my life.
Right now, get $40 off your first 2 weeks when you text HUNGRY to 484848. Enjoy amazing chef-cooked meals prepared and delivered fresh from Freshly. Now get $40 off your first 2 weeks when you text HUNGRY to 484848. That's HUNGRY to 484848 for your discount. Text HUNGRY to 484848.
If you think vaccines alone will protect you from COVID-19, think again. More breakthrough cases of COVID variants show that vaccinated people are still vulnerable to the deadly disease. To be safe, monitor regularly for fever, as it's the leading sign of COVID-19. Use Exergen, the only thermometer scientifically proven to detect fever, and beware of non-contact devices that miss 5 out of 6 fevers. Remember, vaccines are not enough, so protect yourself and your family with the Exergen Temporal Scanner. Learn more at Exergen.com.
As the official team doctors for the Clemson Tigers and U of SC Gamecocks, Prisma Health Orthopedics can give you and your family the same care we provide top athletes. If hip and knee pain is making your daily life difficult, seek the best care. Find out if joint pain is affecting your quality of life by taking a free health assessment. Don't let hip or knee pain hold you back. Learn more at prismahealth.org/ortho.
Hi, this is Cole Bryson, the play-by-play voice of the Burns Rebels. It's Burns at Gaffney tonight on ESPN Upstate and on the Odyssey app.
The Burns Rebels, powered by your local Ingles Market. 97.7 FM in Greenville, 97.1 FM Spartanburg.
This feature sponsored by Navage. Worried about what you're breathing in?
I do the same thing in public.
Allergens, germs, and viruses get trapped in your nose. Now there's a simple, easy, and effective way to clean your nose and protect your health. It's called Navage. Navage. Available at Navage.com.
This report is sponsored by Gatorade and Spinks. The SEC Football Championship is coming up, and you could win free tickets at Spinks.
I'll have to check that out.
Tickets at Spinks. Just scan the QR code on the Gatorade coolers for a chance to win free tickets. Come win big at Spinks, making life easier. No purchase necessary.
Dispensing real, unfiltered sports talk every weekday noon to 3. This is the Rob Brown Show on ESPN Upstate.
All right, back on the Rob Brown Show, but I'm not Rob. I am Dan Scott. Hanging out with you until 3 o'clock. Rob will be in place of Marc Ryan on Offsides coming up from 3 to 7 today. Boatload of guests, beginning with the next segment. Dwayne Vaughn, the defensive coordinator here at Furman, will be joining me to help preview our game broadcast here tomorrow night, Furman and North Carolina State. At 7:30 kickoff, 6 o'clock airtime with the Pepsi Countdown to kickoff here on ESPN Upstate. You can join David Cobb, Marcus McMorris, Tom Van Hoy, and me for that call. And Furman has a track record of success against North Carolina State, Lonzo. I don't know if you knew this or not, but they have played 17 times in the history of the series, and Furman has won 8 of those 17. 5 losses and 4 ties. Dating back to 1902, where they played on back-to-back weeks. I'm not sure that we broadcast that one, but in any event, the Paladins will try to go and pull off the upset. Of course, Jacksonville State shocked Florida State last week, and there have been a bunch of FCS teams knock off FBS teams already inside the first couple of weeks of the season. So it'll be intriguing to see if the Paladins can do that. We talked to Dwayne Vaughn because his defense is coming off of the school's first shutout since 2004. This past Saturday, it was 26-0 at Tennessee Tech, and allowing just 47 yards a game rushing through 2 games. The front 7 for Furman. Now, I'm in my 11th season here, and there have been some individual players who are better than guys in spots in this group. But as a front 7, 2 deep, I've not seen a group as talented as this group that we have out there right now. And we'll talk to Dwayne about that coming up. In the next hour, Dave Glenn will be with us. We'll talk a bunch of ACC stuff. Also, Tom Van Hoy, and spend a little bit of time looking at the college football expansion stuff as well. I don't know if you saw the story or not, but the AAC is now in response mode. And we'll look at that. And where is this all going to end, or will it ever end? That's the other question. Again, the phone numbers are 844-GSP-ESPN. That's 844-477-3776, or the text line 71307. Here are some of the other games of note. First of all, it's Georgia Tech and Clemson at Death Valley. Clemson number 6 in the country. That's a 3:30 kickoff. Last year, Clemson dropped 73 on Georgia Tech down in Atlanta. Probably not going to happen this year, but I think this will be a very, very good barometer for how far the Clemson offense has come. The Georgia game, Georgia's defense is spectacular, and it looks like Clemson's defense is spectacular. I don't know that you put as much stock as some people did in Clemson's offensive struggles there. New quarterback, new featured running back, all of those other things. I think this game will be a better barometer because last week against South Carolina State, I'm not sure you learned a whole lot there either. That's a 3:30 kick. South Carolina and Georgia, the Gamecocks are 2-0 under Shane Beamer. Will they ever lose? And the answer is yes this week, and they'll lose badly to the number 2 ranked Bulldogs. 7 o'clock between the hedges down in Athens. Number 16, Coastal Carolina, is a noon kick at Buffalo. And elsewhere in the state, PC will be at Campbell. That's a 6 o'clock start. And at the D2 level, let's throw a little love at those guys. North Greenville will be at the Citadel at 6 p.m. Down in Charleston, Limestone at Tusculum at 1:30. Lenore Ryan at Newberry at 6 p.m. And Erskine, in just its second season in existence, will visit Shawan at 1 o'clock. And then nationally, some other games to kind of keep an eye on. The biggest one of the weekend, I don't think there's any question, is number 1 Alabama at number 11 Florida. The Florida folks are all geeked up about this one, feeling like they've got a real shot to end some recent misery at the hands of Alabama. And by the way, Dan Mullen has been one of the names that has been closely connected to the Southern California job. We'll keep an eye on that one. Nebraska and Oklahoma. People keep talking about the game of the century going back 50 years and that great matchup. Oklahoma is number 3 in the country. Nebraska unranked, and this is a pivotal season for Scott Frost. I personally think Nebraska is probably going to get drilled in this one, but we will see. Number 22, Auburn. At number 10, Penn State. I think Auburn is a bit of an unknown quantity as well. And then one that I will be paying particular attention to because of my West Virginia roots, a flashback to the days of the Big East. The West Virginia Mountaineers, unranked, will be hosting number 15, Virginia Tech, out of the ACC. So those are some of the games of note right now this weekend, and some pretty big ones. I think, obviously, again, the biggest one is going to be the Alabama and Florida matchup. Everybody's going to be kind of zeroing in on that one. After the first 2 weeks of the season, the general consensus once again seems to be that it's Alabama and everybody else. How accurate that turns out to be, obviously, we've got a long way to go. This could be the first litmus test for Nick Saban's team. Dan Mullen He's been working and building there at Florida. Is his team, is his program ready to step up to that Alabama challenge now? Well, personally, I don't think so. We'll see if that's the case. But that's the game that's getting most of the national attention, and I don't think there's any reason why it shouldn't. And I have strange sounds coming out of somewhere here. I don't know exactly why, but there we go.
It sounded like a fax machine.
Well, no, it wasn't a fax machine. You know what it is? Yeah, I've got all these different websites open, and some of them have those videos that automatically start to play, and that's what was going on. They were playing in the background. One of them just, for no reason, decided to kick on. Anybody who listens to one of our broadcasts knows that I make sounds like that all the time anyway, so they may not have noticed anything out of the ordinary. But that's what happened there. It just kind of caught me off guard for a second. What do you think, Lonzo? Florida got anything for Alabama?
Absolutely not. There are years when you look at almost every year you look at Alabama and think, yeah, they're going to dominate. This year more than any other year, who's going to compete with Alabama? Georgia's defense is awesome, but their offense not as much. So Florida doesn't stand a chance against Alabama.
That's kind of where I'm leaning as well. But the Florida folks, let's give them credit. I mean, they are gearing up for this one. Like this is their return to, you can't really say they're not on the national stage, but this is their return to headliner status instead of opening act status. This is what they believe. This is their time to make that jump. And I don't know if they can or will. I don't think they will. I think Alabama will roll in there and probably win this game by somewhere between 13 and 17 points, maybe more. But, if Florida does show out, make it a one-score game, even pull the upset and win this game, then I think in one sense that's good for college football. But I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it's going to. Just like I don't think Nebraska is really going to have anything for Oklahoma. That's a noon kickoff on Fox tomorrow. But and that one's getting some build up. And again, I mentioned Scott Frost is under the gun there since coming back to Nebraska. Things haven't gone as people had hoped. I just don't see them going into Oklahoma and having that kind of success. South Carolina, Georgia. It was kind of funny watching the South Carolina fans on Twitter last week while we were in Cookeville, Tennessee, preparing for the Furman Tennessee Tech game and going through that game. And then afterwards, they were in all-out panic mode while the East Carolina Pirates were leading that game and looked like they were going to win that game. The level of Gamecock disgust was palpable. And then they came back and won the game, and suddenly that mood turned, and the tweets went from, "Man, we are so far away. We've got a long way to go before we're going to be competitive," to this team would have lost that game if Will Muschamp had been coaching. And I found it a little hilarious, but not surprising. I think any fan base looking for success would feel that way. But to watch the Gamecock fans go the way they went last week, and some of the same folks, by the way, with the range of emotion tweets, social media it's good and it's bad, but it also can be highly entertaining if you're looking at it from afar with really no dog in the fight and something of a cynical nature, which I think you get if you've been in this business for any length of time. We're going to talk more about that game coming up in just a bit. We got to get to break, though. And when we come back, going to the guest line, Dwayne Vaughn is going to join us, Furman defensive coordinator, and we'll talk Furman and North Carolina State for the first of a couple of times in today's program. I'm Dan Scott, sitting in for Rob Brown, and we'll be back with more in just a moment.
The Rob Brown Show. Listen on your computer and tablet at ESPNUpstate.com.
The 2021 Upstate Golf Cart is on sale right now for you. And if you go to UpstateGolfCart.com, UpstateGolfCart.com, you can go pick yours up. $50. You're getting 9 rounds of golf at 9 beautiful courses all around the Upstate. 9 different styles of golf, too. I think that's my favorite
also known as We Want Your Money.
I've knocked off 5 of them so far. I got 4 to go, and then I may pick up another one just for the fall and the winter. I don't mind a little cold weather golf. The beautiful thing is, I was
trying to get your attention earlier. I don't know if you heard the music. I was trying to get you.
You got a couple of links courses. You got some mountainside courses. You got some roll-in courses. You get a little bit of everything to challenge golfers of all ability levels. It is one of my favorite things that has happened since I moved here. I did it last year.
Cool.
I did it again this year, and you can get yours now and learn exactly what I'm talking about by going to UpstateGolfCart.com, UpstateGolfCart.com.
I prefer all world, but thank you.
You are going to be good to go. It's the 2021 Upstate Golf Cart.
Spectrum Business called their competitors
even more incentive to try.
Could beat Spectrum's Business Internet Plus phone offer for $69.98 per month with no added phone taxes or fees. Here are real quotes from the competition.
How are they pulling in no fees and taxes? That's madness.
I would 100% go with
barring some incident,
Even
yes.
The competition recommends Spectrum Business. Call 855-339-5344 and switch to Spectrum Business today.
Competitor quotes from actual phone conversations. Limited time offer. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
Jay Farner here, CEO of Rocket Companies. If you thought you missed your chance to refinance and save, think again. Mortgage rates have recently dropped below 3%, and Rocket Mortgage can help you save big. You could lower your monthly payment and prepare yourself for a better financial future. But you've got to act now. Call us today at 833-8ROCKET or go to rocketmortgage.com.
Rocket. Conditions apply. Equal housing lender licensed in all 50 states. NMLSConsumerAccess.org number 3030.
Do you love craft beer? Enjoy a pint from 21 of the best breweries in the Upstate. With the Craft Beer Passport, you get 21 pints from the best local craft brewers for just $50. Order today at UpstateCraftBeerPassport.com. UpstateCraftBeerPassport.com.
It's the Home and Auto Bundle Extravafesta Save-a-thon, the annual year-long event where you can save big by bundling Home and Auto with Progressive. So big that we're kicking things off with fireworks, a monster truck battle, a fighter jet flyover.
Coach Vaughn standing by.
It wouldn't be a party without the Home and Auto Bundle Extravafesta Save-a-thon dancers. You can't really hear them, but trust us, they are working it. So come for the fun and stay for the savings. Only at Progressive's Home and Auto Bundle Extravafesta Save-a-thon.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
With the help of Cheerios Oat Crunch Almond, I get everyone's morning started with a smile. It has a delicious and hearty combination of the Cheerios you love, whole grain oats, and sliced almonds for an extra crunchy crunch.
Yeah, I don't know if there's an algorithm or something that causes them to do that, but yeah, you think you cancel it when you first get on there. It's like, okay, it's good, and then next thing you know that happens.
Cheerios Oat Crunch Almond in your local grocery store.
45 seconds.
For the ones going above and beyond. For the ones reaching out, helping out, and lending a hand. For the ones people count on. You can count on Grainger. Grainger offers supplies and solutions for every industry. Backed by 24/7 customer support and specialists to help with hard-to-find products. Because you've got everyone's back. We've got yours. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger. For the ones who get it done.
Hey, it's Boomer Science. Upgrade to a Dollar Shave Club 6-blade razor for a noticeably smooth shave thanks to their 6 precision-cut stainless steel blades. Find your perfect shave with Dollar Shave Club stores. Yeah, that's Dollar Shave Club in store. So go to the store and find them. And welcome to the club.
Made for Upstate sports junkies.
These pathetic junkies? Come on, look at them.
You eat sports like food every day. Get hooked on the Rob Brown Show, noon to 3 every weekday on ESPN Upstate.
All right, welcome back. I am not Rob Brown. He will be in Marc Ryan's seat coming up from 3 to 7, so I'm filling in for Rob today. I'm Dan Scott, voice of the Furman Paladins, former daily talk show host in another lifetime, and going to do it for a full week coming up in a couple of weeks. Lonzo and I were just talking about that a minute ago. That could be a turning point in both of our careers. And remember, Alonzo, turning points don't always have to go up. Just so you know. Just so you know.
Now I'm going to go ahead and schedule my vacation.
During college football season, exactly. Hey, let's go to we have a sponsorship opportunity open guest line. And welcome in the defensive coordinator for the Furman Paladins, Dwayne Vaughn. He is literally on the bus right now with the team heading to Raleigh, North Carolina, where tomorrow night the Paladins will take on the North Carolina State Wolfpack. Furman 2-0, ranked number 25 in FCS in the coaches poll. Dwayne, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. We're all about to cross into North Carolina and head on to Raleigh. We should get there about 4 o'clock, but everything's going good.
Well, let's jump right into it because I know we don't have a whole lot of time, but boy, your defense is playing so well. I was talking about it in the last segment, the 11 years now that I've been here in my 11th season, and you've been on this campus about that same amount of time. There have been some individual defensive players who were just spectacular, but as a group in your 2 deep, the front 7 here is as good or better as I've seen it in my time here. Would you agree?
Yes, I would. I think we just, like I said, have been able to develop a lot of depth, and I think it starts first with recruiting. This is our 5th season as a staff, and, a lot of those guys up front have played a lot of football for us, whether it's Parker Stokes, Landon Lawrence, Cujo, Coleman, and like I said, just been able to add the depth. So like I said, just keep fresh bodies rolling in there and really be able to, shut down the run game.
Yeah, one of the things that you really need to know about how deep this team is, that one of the defensive captains voted on by their teammates who missed the spring season with an injury, Elijah McCoy, is in a backup role at the Bandit. He's playing very well, but he's in a backup role. That speaks to the depth that this team has right now.
It does, and I think it also speaks to the fact that just how unselfish the guys are, I haven't had a single one of the players come in and, into my office and the Coach Hendrick's office and talk about playing time or, and I feel like the group just does a really good job, embracing the we over me, and care more about, pitching a shutout than the individual statistics.
Well, let's talk about the challenge North Carolina State brings, because they have put up over 400 yards of total offense in their first 2 games. They got beat at Mississippi State last weekend, but Emeka Izemi at wide receiver is off to a fantastic start. The Leary kid at quarterback has been pretty good. They're big, they're fast, they're strong. We know all of those cliches when it comes to an FCS team playing an FBS team. When you see them on film, what do you see?
I think first thing that jumps out at you is just how well they run the football, especially in that first game. They've got, I think they got 2 a redshirt junior and 2 graduate students that are starting on the O-line. And then they got 2 really good running backs. And I think that's what gets them going is them being able to establish the run to help take a little bit of pressure off the quarterback, Devin, that, missed some time last year with an injury. I think they got, like I said, big physical receivers on the outside, specifically number 86, Emeka. He's definitely their guy that, even when he is covered, still will catch balls, and that's definitely going to be a challenge for us, just having to, win those 50-50 balls on the outside when we're matched up one-on-one with them.
From a strictly defensive standpoint, and we have already seen a number of FCS schools beat FBS schools this season, and we're visiting, by the way, with Furman defensive coordinator Dwayne Vaughn as the Paladins get set to play at North Carolina State tomorrow night. What is the common denominator from a defensive viewpoint for an FCS team when it beats an FBS team? Is there a common denominator? Have we lost Dwayne? Somewhere in North Carolina, across the state line, and I think we've got him back now. Dwayne, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I got you now, Dan. So
okay.
Can you repeat that?
Yeah, I was just asking if there's a common denominator from a defensive standpoint for an FBS school when it beats an FC or an FCS school when it beats an FBS school.
Yeah, I think first thing if you go and track it, I haven't tracked it, exactly, but I think number one is you got to win the turnover margin. Probably to be +2 or +3, just create some, short field opportunities. Give yourself some momentum early in those games. And then I think, so obviously you're kind of talking big plays defensively while not giving up any big plays offensively. And then I think the other thing that kind of stands out is, not giving up the big play on defense, make them methodically drive the ball on you, if you do give up points, because, obviously with their big play ability at the running back and receiver position, that's what you don't want to have happen, and like I said, obviously we've been pretty good on third down, and, that's something that's really going to get tested Saturday night.
You and I talked a little bit about this yesterday, and as we get set to wrap up here, maybe something to expand on a little bit. Again, all the cliches about them being bigger, faster, stronger, deeper that you run into when an FCS school plays up at a Power 5 like Furman is doing at NC State tomorrow night. That being the case, if there is a boatload of truth to that, does technique become even more important for your Furman defenders if you're going to have a chance to do well and win this game?
Yes, absolutely. That's kind of what we've talked to the guys about all week. Started with it on Monday in terms of just being able to handle the environment, handle the moment. And I think that's something that you really, look towards, us being a pretty mature team with the guys that have played in these big games, whether it's FCS playoff games, whether it's other FCS games, because I think sometimes you can go out there a little too excited and kind of, lose track of the fundamentals and doing your job. So I think that's something that really excited to see these guys, show up under the lights, against an ACC team and just, play the exact same way we've been playing the past 2 weeks. And that, be the aggressor, go attack and just doing our jobs, swarming the football. So like I said, really excited for, and look forward to play a lot of guys early and to rotate as often as we can and, keep a lot of guys, and like I said, we're very excited about the opportunity.
Yeah, as we close it out, Clay Hendricks, the head coach, your boss, is not one who particularly likes going on the road, laying around a hotel all day, as he says, and playing a night game. But I think he's a little excited about this opportunity. There's going to be some national television exposure with the regional sports networks and a chance to play in this environment at a Power 5 school. I think even he's a little bit excited about this. I know the kids are excited.
Yes. No, I think, like I said, just, top to bottom on our staff, in our program, like I said, everyone feels very excited about this. And, like you mentioned with me yesterday, I mean, you walk in our team room and you're going to see up there on our team goals. And one of our team goals every single year is win an FBS game. And obviously Coach Hendricks, as a player and as a coach, has won several times against NC State. So again, I think that's kind of the expectation that, obviously they're a very talented bunch that present, a lot of challenges. And, it'll definitely take us playing really, really good. But I think the message he told our guys yesterday walking off the practice field was, hey, we don't got to go up there and be superhuman, Superman. We just got to be the best we can be, and that's enough.
Well, it's been enough so far in the regular season. 2-0 out of the gate, ranked 25th in the latest coaches poll, and an opportunity to really, really put the proverbial feather in the cap this weekend coming up tomorrow night. Dwayne, thank you so much for joining us. I will see you in Raleigh sometime tomorrow.
Sounds good. Safe travels, Dan. See you tomorrow.
All right, there you go. Dwayne Vaughn, the defensive coordinator for the Furman Paladins, in his third year in that role, in his 10th season on staff here at Furman. To break we go. We've got some time for open phones coming up, and I want to also talk a little bit about a guy that gives people like Alonzo and me hope for being able to make something of ourselves in the future. Who exactly is Taylor Heineke? We'll maybe get into that a little bit as well. We want to hear from you. 844-GSP-ESPN or the text line 71307. I'm Dan Scott, and the Rob Brown Show will continue in just a moment.
The Rob Brown Show. Listen on your Amazon or Google smart speaker. Just say, play ESPN Upstate.
So you have come to the realization and you finally decided it's time to do it. It's time to lose weight. I'm so proud of you. It is a hard decision to make. A lot of us have had to come to that decision. And then when you do it, you got to figure out, well, how do I go about losing the weight I need to lose? I weighed 394 pounds. I know something about losing weight. I lost 200 pounds of fat, put on 40 pounds of muscle. I want you to be able to do the same thing, and I know you can. Let me tell you about the Health Dare. With the Health Dare, you're going to lose weight in 30 days guaranteed, or your money back. You're going to look good in 30 days. You're going to look great in 60. You're going to look phenomenal in 90 days. And one of the biggest fears about losing weight is that you're going to be hungry. Well, you're not going to be hungry with the Health Dare because you can eat the food that's in your fridge, eat the food that's in your pantry. You can even have fast food and carbs, and you won't have to step a toe inside of a gym. And maybe you're someone who has trouble doing things on their own and you need to bring somebody with you. Well, that's fine with the Health Dare because it's buy one, get one free. You can bring in that buddy from work. You can bring in a relative. You pay half, they pay half. You guys both get the program. You're both going to get healthy from a cellular level. You're going to look good. You're going to feel good. You're going to have the energy to face the day. You're not going to fear that mirror anymore. So how do you get started with the Health Dare? Well, you go to idareme.com, fill out some information, and one of the Health Dare coaches will bring you in for a free consultation, get you on the way to losing that weight. And don't forget, buy one, get one free. Go to idareme.com today. When you're there, make sure you tell them that Alonzo dared you.
From the 106.3 WORD Weather Center, here's the Upstate's most trusted forecast on ESPN Upstate. A few spotty showers and thunderstorms at times this afternoon, with partial sunshine developing and a high around 83. Tonight's light chance for rain and storms, cloudy, low of 68. Saturday chance for storms, a high of 85, and Sunday chance for storms, high of 83. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki on ESPN Upstate. Currently, it's 78.
ESPN Upstate, your exclusive home for Major League Baseball.
Take me out to the ball game.
Play-by-play of the biggest games from Major League Baseball's.
No, I don't have text line up.
Including the playoffs and the World Series.
Fly ball deep to
Oh,
right.
that's a great question.
This is ESPN Upstate.
Game on.
Don't go through the fall months.
Well, it's Friday, and they think it's later than what it is. Maybe that's what it
Regenerative
is.
Solutions are here, bringing lasting relief from joint pain with no downtime, no surgery, no steroids. QC Kinetics uses natural biologic therapies that restore and repair damaged tissue in your knees, shoulders, hips, and back. Patients here are raving about the results. Listen, you don't have to live with that chronic pain, and don't think surgery is your only option.
There's nothing wrong with support from the mom.
Learn about these exciting natural alternatives. Hey, you've heard football legend Emmitt Smith talk about QC. It's time to see what this is all about. Fall is the time to enjoy life to the fullest. Act now. Restorative, regenerative therapies are available here, and the in-office consultation is free. Call QC Kinetics at 864-448-3772. Non-surgical joint pain relief. 864-448-3772.
We will have about 2 minutes when we come back.
864-448-3772. That's 448-3772.
Hey, this is Bill Donovan, General Manager at Breakaway Honda. If you ever thought a brand new Honda was beyond your budget, you owe it to yourself to spend a few minutes at Breakaway Honda. Our team is committed to getting you the lowest payment possible on a new Honda. As a matter of fact, many of our customers are getting new Hondas and lowering their current payment. Low payments and no hassle. I guess that's what makes us #1 year after year. We do what we say at Breakaway, 330 Woodruff Road or breakawayhonda.com.
Mad World Haunted Attraction is now open. Don't miss your chance to experience South Carolina's #1 haunted house, located in Piedmont off I-85 exit 35. Buy tickets now at madworldattractions.com. That's madworldattractions.com.
There's nothing worse than coming home from a hot day to find out that your AC unit isn't working. When this happens, you need an HVAC company you can trust. A company like Priority Heating and Air. Their HVAC specialists will give your system a thorough checkup. And if you need a new unit, Priority Heating and Air is a proud distributor of the Coleman line of HVAC systems. So keep your family or business cool this summer and give Priority Heating and Air a call today at 591-1847 or find them online at PriorityHeatingandAirHVAC.com.
Priority Heating and Air.
Prescription products require an online consultation. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information.
My husband's ED was affecting our marriage. When he first started experiencing ED, it was difficult for both of us. We didn't know who to talk to about it or where to get help. HIMS was our answer. HIMS connected my husband with a licensed provider online. He was able to get medication to treat his ED at a fraction of the price people pay for the name brand. It was delivered to our door, and guess what? Our sex
I
life
really didn't
is
need to hear
back.
all that, but
It
thanks.
works.
Right now, get your first online provider's visit totally free when you go to forhims.com/joy. Yep, free. No copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. Just the care you need.
Thanks to HIMS, we got our sex life and our marriage back.
To start your free online visit, go to this exclusive address, forhims.com/joy. That's forhims.com/joy for your free online visit. forhims.com/joy.
This report is sponsored by Gatorade and Spinks.
20 seconds.
The SEC Football Championship is coming up, and you could win free tickets at Spinks. Now's your chance to win tickets at Spinks. Just scan the QR code on the Gatorade coolers for a chance to win free tickets. Come win big at Spinks, making life easier. No purchase necessary.
We're not here to take part. We're here to take over. Named the best sports talk show in South Carolina. The Rob Brown Show, only on ESPN Upstate.
Yeah, you'll probably want to play that little intro as often as you can between now and October the 1st, because by the time I get finished in my pinch hitting role today and then that full week in 2 weeks, Rob may not be able to lay claim to that anymore. I'm Dan Scott, filling in for Rob Brown, who is filling in for Marc Ryan on Offsides, coming up from 3 to 7 o'clock today. On the Twitter line, I guess this is when you know actually you're not doing that bad of a job, Lonzo, because there are 2 tweets that have been directed to the show since we started. One says, "Love hearing you, Dan. Got to get you on more often." And the other one says, "Where's Marc Ryan and why is he not on the show?" Which leads me to believe that they're a very loyal listener because they know who is supposed to be on this show, right?
That's what we call a P1 in the business, for sure.
As you stated, it is Friday. Perhaps they are, you can't even say they're running behind because they're kind of looking ahead, right? I don't know. It's obvious one of us doesn't know what we're talking about, either me or that person. When you text us, by the way, make sure you put ESPN in front so we know exactly where it's going to and can read it. Would love to hear from you. Coming up in hour number 2, we'll kick it off with the best in the business when it comes to covering the Atlantic Coast Conference. Dave Glenn will be with us. Top of the hour coming up. This is the Rob Brown Show. I'm Dan Scott on fill-in duty today. And I think we're at the top to take a break, right? Is it time to get out of here?
ESPN Upstate, WIRD Greenville, WORD Spartanburg, WFBC FM HD3.
An Odyssey station.
AutomotiveMap.com presents the Sports Flash on ESPN Upstate. Baseball on Thursday. Atlanta's home game against the Rockies postponed. No makeup date has been announced. Atlanta starts a series at San Francisco tonight. 7-5. Ian Anderson starts against Logan Webb. Atlanta with a 3.5 game lead on top of the NL East. In 10 innings, the Orioles slipped by the Yankees 3-2. Tampa with a 5-2 win over the Tigers. The Rays able to extend their American League
Let's
East
do
lead
this
to
one
8.5 games. Elsewhere,
coming
the
in
Phillies
at-
pounded the Cubs 17-8. The Reds shut out
At
the Pirates
2:30,
1-0.
so we
Toronto
can-
and Boston
Dave's
hold
good.
the 2
We need to
American
give
League
him as much
wild
time as
cards. New
possible.
York now a half game out. In the National League, San Diego, Cincinnati, Philadelphia, and the Mets all chasing St. Louis for the one remaining wild card slot. Thursday night football, Washington beat the Giants 30-29. Dustin Hopkins with a 43-yard field goal to win it. 2 touchdown passes for Washington's Taylor Heineke. Classic Rock 101.1 airs Carolina Panthers football every Sunday. Carolina kickoff starts 2 hours before kickoff. That's the Sports Flash. I'm Chuck Sanders on ESPN Upstate.
Have you heard the Rob Brown Show?
He is the murder hawk Lance Archer joining us here on the
All right,
Rob
I'm getting
Brown
his
Show.
voice now. I'm still
ESPN
trying
Upstate.
to-
That TNT championship. If you watch other companies around, we hear about belts that are mid-card belts or secondary belts. But one of the things that I've appreciated, Lance, is the amount of credibility, importance that you guys have put on the TNT championship. Why does winning the TNT championship matter so much to you?
It isn't a secondary title by any means. It is on the same level as the AEW championship. The AEW championship is is just one of the titles of right now, Kenny Omega champion, and he's been very selective on his fights, and that's kind of how the AEW championship has gone, whereas the TNT title has been seen and defended many, many more times. Cody defended it on a weekly basis, fought and defended multiple times on TNT, and I think that's what makes it important in its own realm.
Hey, Greenville, Spartanburg. Catch the Rob Brown Show.
Got him.
Weekdays noon to 3 on
30 seconds.
ESPN Upstate.
This week on Football Sunday on ESPN Radio.
And the victory in overtime for the Raiders.
You can come back and find a way to win against a team like that. That's saying something. Like they say here, just win, baby.
Both the Steelers and Raiders came up big with Week 1 upsets, and now they go head-to-head at Heinz Field.
Touchdown! Ben Roethlisberger makes plays when the pressure comes.
Sunday at noon, the NFL plays here on ESPN Upstate.
Warning.
And check this out.
You're on official Rob Brown lockdown.
Represents being real.
Yeah.
Real, unfiltered sports talk manufactured locally for the Carolinas.
Lockdown!
This is the Rob Brown Show.
Yeah.
Only on ESPN.
ESPN Upstate.
And I am not Rob Brown. I am Dan Scott, voice of the Furman Paladins, and hanging out with you until 3 o'clock. Rob filling in for Marc Ryan on Offsides from 3 until 7. So those of you who want to hear Rob, you have to wait. But hopefully you'll hang around because we got a good couple of hours left in the show. Coming up in hour number 3, Brandon Bennett, the former Gamecock and Cincinnati Bengals running back, will be here. We'll talk South Carolina, Georgia, among some other things. And also Gary Hahn, the longtime play-by-play voice of the North Carolina State Wolfpack, will be with us, which is a nice little segue for a couple of reasons into our next guest as we head back to the guest line to open up the second hour of the show. Dave Glenn has been covering the Atlantic Coast Conference for longer than probably he wants to admit in a multitude of fashions. And right now, besides going into the realm of education and acting as an adjunct professor, he said, at UNC Wilmington. He writes for chapelboro.com and so many other things. He joins us here. Dave is also a Philly guy. He's up there in the Raleigh area, so Gary Hahn coming on probably piqued his interest. And Dave, welcome to the show. You may know this or may not know this, but you being a Philly guy, Gary Hahn does the best Harry Kalas impersonation of anybody I've ever heard outside of the late Harry Kalas.
Well, Dan, it's great to be with you again, as always. You and I go back decades at this point.
Yeah.
One of the great honors of my broadcasting career was having Harry Kalas on the show. I mean, anybody could identify with the idea, right, of growing up with someone being one of the biggest voices of your childhood and even teenage years, in my case, as a youth in and around Philadelphia. So I have heard the Gary Hahn impression. I've heard a bunch of other impressions. And I can still hear to this day his voice, Harry Kalas, is in my head. I even saved the voicemail he left me just so that I eternally have Harry Kalas's voice. And as a guy who, of course, grew up to make sports a big part of my living, those are among my most cherished memories of, how I became such a big sports fan.
It's really amazing. And for those of us of a certain age, and you and I are probably the last of that generation that radio made that kind of impact on us. It was Marty Brenneman for me, who I'm fortunate enough to call a friend. 46 years in Cincinnati, Hall of Fame broadcaster. Harry Kalas for you. Radio is still huge in what we do, talk show wise. It's still huge on baseball, especially. But the impact that it had generationally, I don't think is ever going to be as strong as it was. And you and I might have been in the last of what I would call the golden era of radio having that kind of influence.
Yeah, I think you're right, Dan. And sometimes I'll have fun with either my interns over these last 25 years who tend to be in that 19 to 22 age bracket, or even now my students at UNC Wilmington who are in that same age bracket. I'll ask them questions that sometimes identify this generational gap. And I'll ask, for example, what is your instinct to do when you get in the car? And sometimes it's just, Bluetooth, right? So they're going to connect their Bluetooth to their car, and they're going to either play their own playlist, or they're going to check out the latest album, or maybe they'll listen to someone like you or me, but maybe not. And those habits have changed a lot, and how cars are made has that whole process has changed a lot. So how many of these things are not just generational in terms of what people want, but in terms of what people can get and how they consume such things. And in my case, I can remember going to bed with what we used to call the transistor radio, a battery-powered transistor radio under my pillow. Mom and Dad wouldn't let me watch the end of the Phillies game or the Flyers hockey game or whatever, but I was allowed to listen to the end of it because at least my head was on a pillow, right? So I would tuck that transistor under the pillow, try to listen to the end, and a lot of times, of course, I'd fall asleep and realize that I killed my battery by the next morning. But, that's a different generation. And I had not only Harry Kalas with the Phillies, but Gene Hart of the Flyers, Merrill Reese of the Philadelphia Eagles of the NFL. I think to this day is still the voice of that NFL franchise. So it's gone a long way in my life, and I know in yours. But, I think there's still valuable, great radio voices out there in a lot of different contexts. But it'll never be quite like it was back in our days.
No, I would agree with you. All right, let's hop into this in the 10 minutes or so we have left. One of the other things that hasn't changed, and by the way, we're visiting with Dave Glenn, who covers the ACC so very well and has for over 30 years. One of the things that hasn't changed in this league is that they're still trying to play catch up when it comes to television revenue. And the ACC network finally got off the ground a couple of years ago. But, Dave, they still have not been able to get themselves on Comcast, which is one of the largest cable providers in the country, 2 years into this deal. And I know you've got an article on chapelboro.com that's coming out about this. What is the sticking point in these negotiations, and why are so many people being denied access because of this?
Well, first, Comcast and its product, it's called Xfinity, is not just one of the biggest, it is the biggest. Whether you take into consideration internet TV like a Hulu or YouTube TV or Sling TV, or the fiber version of television like an AT&T Uverse or Google Fiber for a while, or there are others, or just the cable category that you mentioned, Xfinity is number one in our country in terms of pay TV households. They have almost 20 million pay TV customers. That's not just internet customers. That's specifically pay TV customers. That makes them, by a wide margin, by millions of households, the largest. So if you and I called the 15 to 18 biggest pay TV providers in the country right now, 17 of the top 18 already carry the ACC network, and most of them have carried it for, if not the full 2 years and 1 month, something close to 2 years and 1 month. Comcast Xfinity is the holdout, in part because they're debating the price. All these negotiations, of course, are what will you, the carrier, pay me, ACC network, which is owned by ESPN, which is owned by the Walt Disney Company. They're arguing about the price. And the cable operators and other pay TV providers, of course, want to keep their costs down. And the channel providers want to drive the costs up, right? ESPN gets a whole lot of money per subscriber per month for that almighty channel. And because 2 years ago, Xfinity already had contracts with ESPN and the SEC network and the Big Ten network, and not only sports channels, but other things owned by Disney, like the Disney Channel, like National Geographic TV, FX. All those things are owned by Disney. Because Comcast/Xfinity already had all those channels, and they weren't going to come up for renewal until September of 2021, as we speak right now, Comcast felt like it had the leverage and didn't have to give in to demands for higher prices for the ACC network or whatever else. Well, now, with everything up for renewal, Comcast and Xfinity have a huge incentive to strike a deal here, because Disney can say, all right, if you don't want to play fair on the ACC network price per month per subscriber, try telling your 20 million households that you don't have ESPN to carry anymore and see how the customer service desk reacts to those millions of emails and phone calls. The leverage is now on the Disney side, the ESPN side, the ACC network side. And that's really good news for this league, because if you can get to the point where, of course, all 18 of the biggest 18 pay TV providers are carrying you, then you're at least a lot closer to what the Big Ten network has done for the Big Ten and the SEC network has done for the SEC.
Visiting with Dave Glenn to talk everything going on that we can fit in where the Atlantic Coast Conference is concerned. On the field, Dave, the first 2 weeks has not been a banner start for this league as far as having a whole lot of success, has it?
It has not. I think about, in conference, there have been some compelling matchups, but all these leagues end up being judged in large part by how you do against the other heavyweights. And sometimes how you lose to some lightweights. Like Florida State losing at home to FCS Jacksonville State certainly does not upgrade the nation's image of the Atlantic Coast Conference, right? NC State went to Mississippi State, I thought, with a pretty good Wolfpack team. They not only lost to the Bulldogs, that was a 24-3 Bulldogs lead until garbage time in the late fourth quarter. So Pitt did go to Tennessee and beat the Volunteers. We have to include some of the positives from the ACC perspective as well. But overall, sure. I mean, Clemson losing to Georgia out of the gate. Preseason favorite Miami losing to Alabama out of the gate. Even Carolina, they lost to an ACC team in Virginia Tech. But basically all three preseason top 25 teams in the Atlantic Coast Conference went down in week one. And then you had some of those other ugly losses on top of it. So this league wants to change its reputation in football, but the only way to do that is to win a lot of games. And these most recent seasons have been more the Clemson Tigers kind of carrying the ACC football flag, and only occasionally are the Tigers getting a whole lot of help.
So the Clemson-Georgia game, obviously that was the marquee matchup for this league so far. Can you put a lot of weight on that one as far as it was a black eye for the ACC, though, at least at this juncture? I mean, Clemson probably has a lot of good football remaining in it, and
Sure.
Georgia's number 2 in the country. Is it a little unfair to look at that one and put that in the black eye category?
Sure, I don't lump it in at all. I mean, Duke losing to a group of 5 team in Charlotte. Georgia Tech losing to a group of 5 team in Northern Illinois. Louisville playing Mississippi. And really, the Rebels led that game 29-3 midway through the third quarter before I think they won by roughly 20 points. Miami not only losing to Alabama, but getting annihilated. It was 27-0 before Miami crossed midfield for the first time, So, of course, the Clemson loss falls into a different category for 2 reasons. One, they were playing a top 5 opponent. Combined with 2, they lost by a touchdown, right? So are there alarms? Yes. Clemson's offensive line was not up to the task against the Bulldogs. DJ Uiagalelei did not make anybody forget Trevor Lawrence, and those running backs didn't make anybody forget Travis Etienne. I mean, it's hard to replace players who were some of the best in your program's history. Carolina's finding that out. Clemson's finding that out. But the Tigers remain in a different category. It's Dabo Swinney's squad and then a notch or 2 down to everybody else. And I don't think that'll change. If the Tigers can run the table, they're going to be right back in that college football playoff conversation where they almost always are. And if they stub their toe again, that's when not only does Clemson have some major concerns, but the Atlantic Coast Conference football reputation can go down with the Tigers.
You said, as we get set to wrap it up here, you said a minute ago that NC State went into Mississippi State with what you thought was a good football team, and they ended up getting drilled. That's where Furman is going tomorrow night, strangely enough. But where is Dave Doran now in his 9th season with this Wolfpack program? And it's not going to help that he's got 2 defensive starters in Peyton Wilson and Cyrus Fagan, who are both out for the season now after the Mississippi State game. But where is he with this program now in year 9?
Well, he has a contract extension all the way through 2025. So that certainly suggests some stability. But his ACC record, even through his previous 8 seasons, is 28 wins and 38 losses. Now, on the other hand, he did take the Wolfpack to 6 bowls in those 8 years. He did have a top 25 season back in 2017 when they went 9-4. Just last year, the Wolfpack went 8-4. They have a whole bunch of starters back. They're pretty good at the line of scrimmage, although that did not show at Mississippi State at all. Devin Leary has been a very good quarterback at times. He was not that against Mississippi State. So I wouldn't give up on this year's Wolfpack. I still think they're an above-average ACC football team. And I still think Dave Doran, because of that contract extension, is on firm ground. But he has to have more of those occasional trips to the top 25, more of those 8 and 9 or more win seasons, because all it'll take is one losing season for the Wolves to start howling in Raleigh.
Yeah, very, very clever. Very clever. Tell people how they can follow more of what you're doing these days.
Yeah, on Twitter, I'm at David Glenn Show. I share not only my own work for chapelboro.com. Of course, I'm the founding editor of ACCsports.com. I'm still a consultant with them and an occasional contributor with them. But that's where it all starts for me nowadays, on Twitter, at David Glenn Show. And my most recent stuff online is, including that Comcast Disney showdown, is at chapelboro.com.
Sounds like a plan. You and I will actually talk again on Monday, but thank you for joining us here on ESPN Upstate today.
Always fun, my friend. Keep up the good work, Dan.
All right,
Take care.
That is Dave Glenn, all of those places covering the Atlantic Coast Conference that he just mentioned. And he and I have been doing these radio shows together for just about 20 years. And he just, like the proverbial fine wine, just keeps getting better and better. Let's step aside, talking about old. Tom Van Hoy is going to join me in the next segment, broadcast partner, and we'll talk a little Furman football, a little high school football as well from a television standpoint. All that coming up. Dan Scott filling in for Rob Brown on ESPN Upstate. Back in a moment.
The Rob Brown Show. Listen on your computer and tablet at ESPNUpstate.com.
Harley Davidson of Greenville wants you to be able to experience some of the best riding in the country. I've been riding for about 7 years, and I got to tell you, when I got the job up here in the Upstate, one of the very first thoughts that I had was, hey, look, how do I get the bike up there? How do I get the motorcycle up there? I have to. Why? Because I've been in the Blue Ridge Mountains. I've been up across the South Carolina, North Carolina border. I've ridden across the Midlands. I've driven around the Upstate, and I have loved it every single time that I have. And I want to live that life up on two wheels. So I did. I brought it up. And once I got here, immediately started working with Harley Davidson of Greenville to make sure that my experience riding around the Upstate, the Midlands, the Low Country, the Blue Ridge was as good as it can be. And with Harley Davidson, it will be. Not only are they going to help you find the bike of your dreams, the perfect bike for you, the colors you want, the paint scheme you want, the finish you want.
All right, just to let Dan know, Dan, I am talking to Rob now, who is testing his Comex, so I'm,
but once you get it done,
hear weird chatter. Yes, Rob, I can hear you.
Set it up, helping you maintain it, helping you keep it tricked out, customized. Go to 30 Chrome Drive. That is their showroom. You're going to see all the brand new 2021s and the largest.
I thought you weren't doing that.
Inventory in the Upstate at 30 Chrome Drive, or check them out online at upstateharley.com. That's upstateharley.com.
AutomotiveMap.com presents the Sports Flash on ESPN Upstate. Big matchup tomorrow night for the number 21 North Carolina Tar Heels.
That's all right. I'll get better at bowling while you're somewhere else. And then when you come back,
you start looking at how hard it is.
You already had competition, but you're going to get more.
Worried about who's the best team. It's who's the best team on Saturday, because every weekend now it seems like more and more.
All right, you sound good. I got to get a guest. So, yep. See you.
3:30 kickoff tomorrow for number 6 Clemson at home against Georgia Tech. Tigers coach Dabo Sweeney has his team ready for an experienced Yellow Jackets lineup.
Offensively, 7 guys back that have.
By the way, Dan, we have a new bowling league that we just started
back up front.
7:30 kickoff tomorrow night as
for
NC
bad
State
bowlers.
Furman. Noon kickoff for number
which
16
we are
Coastal
not,
Carolina at
but
Buffalo.
you know.
6 o'clock kickoff for Campbell at home against Presbyterian. ESPN Upstate is your home for Furman Paladins football every Saturday. Pregame starts 90 minutes before kickoff.
It's more about the
That's
fun.
the Sports Flash.
than
I'm Chuck
anything,
Sanders
but
on ESPN Upstate.
We have a thing with Stoneman from Rock 101 and several different personalities are there. So, but Rob and I are competing against each other, and Diesel from Mark's show. And, he got me 2 games. I beat him 1 game. So. But the team is very consistent. So I think if things go well, maybe I can talk them to actually join in a real league when it's over. Which I haven't been in a league since 4th grade. But, I want to be in a league. So.
Most Southwest Grill.
This also gives me an excuse to buy a bowling ball.
House parties, tailgates, weddings, ballet
An excuse to make a purchase of some type is a
Most
good one.
catering will fill your fajita, taco, and nacho bars with fresh and flavorful ingredients. Like proteins grilled every hour, over 35 pounds of tomatoes that we dice every single morning before opening, and seasonal
Absolutely.
salsas and pico that are made in-house. We've got something for everyone, even your Uncle
He
Bill.
will be in a moment.
Just order at Moe's.com/catering. Welcome to Moe's.
Jay Farner here, CEO of Rocket Companies. If you thought you missed your chance to refinance and save, think again. Mortgage rates have recently dropped below 3%, and Rocket Mortgage can help you save big. You could lower your monthly payment and prepare yourself for a better financial future. But you've got to act now. Call us today at 8338-ROCKET or go to rocketmortgage.com.
Conditions apply. Equal housing lender licensed in all 50 states. NMLSconsumeraccess.org number 3030.
Spectrum Business called their competitors to see if any of them could beat Spectrum's Business Internet Plus phone offer for $69.98 per month with no added phone taxes or fees. Here are real quotes from the competition.
How are they pulling in no fees and taxes?
Tom is standing by.
I would 100% go with Spectrum.
Even the competition recommends Spectrum Business. Call 855-339-5344 and switch to Spectrum Business today.
Competitor quotes from actual phone conversations. Limited time offer. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
Borderlands Comics and Games has been upstate South Carolina's leader in comics and games for over 30 years. Borderlands has over 300,000 comics. Need some quick cash? Borderlands is always buying comics, toys, games, and collectibles. No one pays more, and they'll treat you and your items with respect. Borderlands, located at 1434 Lawrence Road. Or check them out on Instagram and Facebook, and make your plans now for SC Comic-Con Jr. Sunday, October 3rd at the Greenville Convention Center.
The greatest of all time, the GOAT. Most of the time this comes up when speaking about sports, but let's talk about your future wife. She is the GOAT in your eyes, and when it's time to make her your wife and Skatel her you truly love her, Skatels will be there to guide you through your ring buying journey. Free customization, financing, and a lifetime warranty are all part of the Skatels experience, one you truly will appreciate. Start your engagement ring journey at skatelsjewelers.com.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
1 minute.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? So you've got an oil change coming up? We can help you get started. Right now, you can
No, this first break is a little bit longer.
Filter, plus an
As a
STP air
rule.
filter
I don't know
or
why,
cabin
but
air
it is.
filter for just $34.99. And you can get it all fast, your way. Just order online. With
We are
free
right on
same-day
time as
pickup
far
or
as
next
how
day
the show
delivery.
normally goes. So you're good.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Start your job today at AutoZone.com.
Absolutely.
Restrictions apply.
With Early Paycheck, you can get your direct deposit up to 2 days earlier. That's another reason banking with Capital One is the easiest decision ever. Even easier than deciding to open the biggest birthday gift first.
Happy birthday to you.
Which one are you going to open first?
The pony.
Yep, even easier than that. Plus, with no fees or minimums on checking and savings accounts, is banking with Capital One even a decision? That's banking reimagined. What's in your wallet? See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. No fees or minimums on new consumer accounts. Capital One and a member FDIC.
More than the scores, the ups and downs, the ins and outs. Real, unfiltered sports talk. It's the Rob Brown Show on ESPN Upstate.
Rob Brown will be in for Marc Ryan on Offsides coming up at 3 o'clock here on ESPN Upstate. I'm Dan Scott in for Rob Brown. There will be a test later. Kind of keeping all of this straight. 844-GSP-ESPN, 844-477-3776. The text line 71307, and make sure you start that text with ESPN so it gets slotted properly. We're going right back to the guest line, though, and welcoming in my broadcast partner and a guy who tonight will be calling some high school football regionally on television. Tom Van Hoy is joining us here on the guest line. Tom, how are you?
Good. If there are any tests involved, I'm out, Dan. I'm a sportscaster, so you know that.
Well, now wait a minute. You were regaling us all spring with the stories of homeschooling your two daughters and all of your exploits when it came to sixth grade math and seventh grade science or whatever it was.
They actually did pass, so I consider that to be a success. I guess, but it's been a while since I had to try to conjugate verbs and do a number of other things. So mathematically speaking, I wasn't up to date on Common Core and things like that. But now I am, for better or worse. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know if Lonzo is like me and probably like you, but Lonzo, I was really good at math until they put the alphabet in it. And then things went downhill dramatically from there. So take it for what it's worth.
I didn't even understand what you said. So there we go.
There you go. You're in the same boat as we are. Hey, Tom, a little bit about Furman. I got a chance to kind of go shock the world a little bit, although around these parts it wouldn't be that much of a shock because Furman has beaten North Carolina State 8 times in 17 tries over the history of the series.
Well, they have. You go back to, the mid-'80s and had those great teams for Furman then, and interesting how that played out with Dick Sheridan winning a couple of games and going to NC State as a head coach back in 86 or so. But it's been a while. But, it has happened before. And, Dan, we were up at Virginia Tech a couple of years ago and really had an opportunity to win that ball game. And you can talk about officiating all you want, but I mean, those things do happen occasionally. But you know what? You never know. Kids going in have the opportunity to get into a venue like that at Power 5 conference, things like that. And before thousands and thousands of people, I think you see in many cases the best effort from some of these young men.
Now, I'm trying to think. You were not with us in 2017 when we went to Raleigh the last time, right?
I was not there. The only thing I was told was that it's so high that you could jump off and parachute down.
Yes,
so that's about all I know.
When you're looking down at the clouds, the press box the radio broadcast booths for both home and away. It's not just where they stick the visiting radio. Is on top of the press box, which is about 9 stories high. So there are satellites orbiting by, and stray aircraft who are flying off course, and all of those things that you have to deal with. But it is way up there. But you get a good view of the field for sure. Looking forward to that here on ESPN Upstate tomorrow. You though have a little business to take care of. Prior to that, on My 40, you'll be doing some high school football tonight, and you and Jason Patterson do that every week, right?
Well, Jason and I do. Jason's got some ACC requirements tonight with University of Virginia. He does some stuff there, so I'm going to slide in there and do the play-by-play with Kenny Ford. Kenny is the one-time head coach at Owen High School up in North Carolina. So we'll be up in the mountains again, and we'll be as Hayesville is taking on Tuscola. And you and I, having been to Western Carolina so many times with Furman, you know the route. You go up, you go down Highway 74, and then you stop off, and there's Tuscola. You keep on going, you turn left, and then there's Smoky Mountain, and then there's Western Carolina. So I kind of know the drill and the geography of the area. But yeah, we try to. We were over in South Carolina last week, and tell you, TL Hanna is an outstanding program. They beat BHP and got them pretty good. Jason Tone has come in there back of Jeff Herron. Jeff Herron came in from Georgia and went 25-2, and Jason has come in there. Coach Tone has come in there and got into the championship game last year, which Dutch Fork, of course, Dutch Fork has won 5 consecutive in the state of South Carolina since they went to 5A. But if you backtrack a little bit, Bruce Ollis kind of got it going before Jeff Herron came in, and Bruce is at Polk County in his 42nd year as a head coach there. So there were some ties, and we've got a 1A, 3A matchup tonight. You never know what's going to happen. The 1A schools have smaller rosters than the 3A, obviously, but we saw that on My 40 a couple of weeks ago when it was Swain County, who was a 1A team, went into the aforementioned Smoky Valley and won that game. So you never know. And we've bounced around a little bit. We were up Spartanburg and in Gaffney, and we've got Gaffney and Dorman coming up in a little bit. So try to just do a regional game every week. And it's some of these communities you go into a little bit smaller. So it's kind of a nice effort for them to showcase. And My 40 does a really nice job of a 30-minute pregame show. We just don't come on at 7:35 and kick it off. And they talk to the principal and teacher of the year, inspirational students, and I could learn a lot from probably, and then also from the scholar athletes or impressive young men and women. So it's been fun for me to kind of take the Friday nights and pop over there and do some television work.
Tom Van Hoy works with David Cobb, Marcus McMorris, and me on Furman football, and Tom and I do Furman basketball here on ESPN Upstate. I want to go back to knowing your place in the world as a broadcaster, because you mentioned the guy that you'll be working with tonight, Kenny Ford, former high school football coach, a long time up there in the mountains of Western North Carolina. Is he not the guy that every time you show up somewhere, people want to know if Kenny's going to be on the broadcast? And if he's not, they're disappointed?
Yeah, kind of. I don't take it personally because they're always asking me, and I'm kind of in Kenny's role. Jason's the play-by-play guy, and I slide in and do color. But hey, I can understand it, man. I don't know a whole lot about five techniques and all that kind of stuff. I can kind of tell you how many yards they gain and how many they have for the game and who they play and things like that. And Kenny adds a really good element to the broadcast as somebody that kind of can tell you what's really going on the field. But yeah, and you've been around it, Dan, up in West Virginia, some other places as well, in South Carolina when you did a lot of high school football as well. Guys that stay, coaches that stay for a certain period of time and have success become legends in those communities. And it's pretty cool to, when we go in there tonight, they'll be good. They'll be glad to see Kenny, so that's good. And he does an outstanding job as well of describing what's going on the field. And, what do you think is going to happen here? I can give it, you can give it, but how about somebody that's been on the sidelines that's actually called to play? That might be quite a concept, right? Right, or played the game like we do in Furman. You and I can do down distance time and score, and we let Marcus and David handle all of the this is actually what happened when it comes to analyzing that play. It's good as a broadcaster, and you and I have had many conversations about this. We all thought we were going to be Bob Costas. And it didn't turn out that way for 99% of us. It's good when you learn your place and you come to grips with who you are and where you are and what you're doing, and then you can relax and have a lot of fun. And that's one of the things we try to bring to these broadcasts. Yeah, we're just lucky to be able to make a living to go on and broadcasting games and whatever level it is, be it the high school level, the collegiate level, and the highest levels, and then professional football. We've been around all of those levels, but it's important to those as we go into a community tonight. When in Hayesville, we'll be there, in Tuscola, up in Waynesville, and it's an important night for them to have an opportunity to be on television and to showcase their school and showcase their town. And it's always interesting visiting with the coaches when television comes in. I said, "Are you worried about how maybe your kids might play?" Get a little excited, and they go, "Oh yeah." So sometimes that becomes a little bit of a factor as well. But boy, it's just on Friday nights in communities in South Carolina, North Carolina, across the country, it's still a big deal, the high school football. And we did them all last year. Of course, you and I at Furman with football and basketball during the height of the pandemic, and didn't let anybody in. You and I went to Cincinnati, and in a 12,000 seat arena, they let 300 in. It's nice to see the fact that they're having good crowds and the enthusiasm that you do see, because it's pretty tough to try to generate your own excitement sometimes. Yeah, no question about it. Well, have a good call tonight, and then I will see you early tomorrow morning, and we'll start the caravan up to Raleigh for Furman and North Carolina State. And, our end game is get the broadcast on, but the most important decision made every single week when we go on the road for Furman is where will the post-game meal be. That's true. And that is David Cobb's primary job in this organization. He's the color commentator, but the thing that keeps him employed is his ridiculous streak of picking outstanding restaurants for us to eat in. Yeah, it's a lot of pressure, I would think, Dan. I mean, I wouldn't want to have that kind of position in our organization. chauffeur's not bad sometimes. Hey, one other note before we get out of here.
Yeah.
Just that folks know that you and I have done baseball up at North Carolina State before, and there was a pretty good combination, one for one for Clemson when Clemson was playing, and one for NC State, a couple of guys. One went in to play Major League Baseball, and the other went on to play in the National Football League.
Yeah, a guy named Kyle Parker on one side and a guy named Russell Wilson on the other, right?
Yeah, how about that? So you never know, and it'll be fun to go up there tomorrow.
All right, Tom. We'll see you tomorrow morning. Have a good call tonight.
All right, thank you.
All right, that is Tom Van Hoy talking a little Furman, a little high school football in the area, televised on My 40 tonight. And, of course, Lonzo can fill it in. I think we got some high school football going on tonight here on ESPN Upstate as well, don't we?
Yeah, we do. We've got Burns versus Gaffney starting out at 7 p.m. Check that out
Two of
right
the
here.
big names. That Cole Bryson on the call, correct?
Yes, he is.
How about that for no notes? I pay attention. My employer would be, and my wife even more, would be very, very happy with me right now. Let's take a break, kind of get caught up on some things. We will come back and talk a little bit of expansion in college football, get to the text line. By the way, I'm up 2-1 in the text comments now. We'll get to those and much more as the Rob Brown Show, hosted today by me, Dan Scott, continues in a moment.
The Rob Brown Show. Listen on your Amazon or Google smart speaker. Just say, play ESPN Upstate. From the Ingalls Market Studio, this is ESPN
We're not actually, because Mark's clock is just not that accurate. Because I prefer that this break be taken sometime after 35, because we're supposed to put ESPN in the Sports Center, but it doesn't finish recording until 35. So we're good. We're good.
No downtime, no surgery.
That was a
no
long
steroids.
explanation, but
QC
we're
Kinetics
good.
Uses natural biologic therapies that restore and repair damaged tissue in your knees, shoulders, hips, and back. Patients here are raving about the results. Listen, you don't have to live with that chronic pain, and don't think surgery is your only option. Call QC Kinetics now. Learn about these exciting natural alternatives. Hey, you've heard football legend Emmitt Smith talk about
Hold on, I'm
QC.
ciphering.
It's time to see what this is all about.
You got 3
Fall
minutes.
is the time to enjoy life to the fullest. Act now. Restorative, regenerative therapies are available here, and the in-office consultation is free. Call QC Kinetics at 864-448-3772. Non-surgical joint pain relief. 864-448-3772. 864-448-3772. That's 448-3772.
The thing about the Name Your Price tool from Progressive is that by now you've heard a lot of ads about the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. We probably don't even need the words, the Name Your Price tool, to tell you that our humpback whale pup gives you options based on your budget, or that our novelty hand buzzer helps you save on car insurance. And that's the thing about the tiny felt bag filled with marbles. At this point, you've heard a lot of ads about the elusive northern bobcat. The Name Your Price tool, the neighbor who baked you banana bread, only from Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean.
So a friend told me about Mr. Clean Magic Eraser, and his exact words were, "It changed my life."
I used to spend a ridiculous amount of time trying to remove tomato sauce from inside our microwave and soap scum off the bathtub.
It's like seriously magic, and my secret weapon for cleaning the kitchen, bathroom, doors, and walls, and even keeping my sneakers clean.
Mr. Clean Magic Eraser.
Greatest invention ever.
Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean.
Mr. Clean Magic Eraser, the unicorn of cleaning.
Dell's semi-annual sale is the perfect opportunity for a significant business upgrade. Save up to 45% on Dell computers built for business with Windows 10 Pro. Plus, enjoy special pricing on Dell docks, monitors, servers, and more, all with easy financing options through Dell Financial Services. Succeed anywhere with Windows 10 Pro. Speak to a Dell Technologies advisor today to find the right tech for your business with fast, free shipping. Call 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL.
The original Peloton bike offers more motivation.
And you still have 2 minutes.
70% of members say they work out more now with Peloton than before. Get game-changing cardio at a new game-changing price. The original Peloton bike, now $400 less. Learn more at onepeloton.com.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes,
My
$1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month.
Yeah, when I
Call
first
Term
started in radio, I
Provider.
was
Speak
doing
with Big Lou at
running Braves games,
800-511-3535.
and so I could get down the
Big
hall
Lou
and
will
back in like a
find
minute
term
and a
life
half.
policy
So,
for you,
yeah.
even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at
I usually don't have the text line up because you
make
can
sure the
comment
scales are
back,
tipped in your
and I
favor.
have
Call
way too much fun with that,
800-511-3535.
and then
Big
I
Lou
forget
will
that I'm
answer
doing
your
other
call and
things,
work
so
to
it's
fit you
best to
into a
not do
term
that.
life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-511-3535. 800-511-3535.
There might be one.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. One less receiver on the field for Dolphins quarterback Tua Tagovailoa against Buffalo on Sunday. Will
If you troll the trolls, some of them don't like that.
No specifics from Coach Brian Flores, but he did say the issue was a surprise. Fuller didn't play in week 1, instead completed his 6-game PED violation-related suspension. Miami brought him in this offseason.
And occasionally you get that, I know where you work and what time you get off, and I'll be waiting in the parking lot. So those are fun.
Last night in a local hospital after being taken by ambulance due to a heat-related illness. He won't play Sunday against the Chargers. He's since been released from the hospital. Saints will continue practicing.
Before social media, I could just describe myself as somebody else, but since
they'll return to New Orleans for week
4
live
all the time, people know what I look like
the Saints
now.
have been displaced to the Dallas area since late August because of widespread damage from
20
Hurricane
seconds.
Ida to Louisiana's coast.
Call 844-GSP-ESPN. Text keyword ESPN and your message to 71307. Get in the game on the Rob Brown Show. Only on ESPN Upstate.
Dan Scott filling in for Rob Brown, who will be filling in for Marc Ryan starting at 3 o'clock. Lonzo, the All-American producer. He wanted to be All-World, but I told him there was a condition to that. But you can say hello to Lonzo, All-American producer. And I'm looking forward to spending some time with you. We do have some time for some phone calls if you'd like to hop on board with us between now and the end of the hour. 844-GSP-ESPN. That's 844-477-3776. Or the text line, keyword ESPN, to 71307. 71307. Lonzo, I am running now at a 75% approval rate on the text line. There have been 4 texts directed to us since the show started, and 3 of them are positive. One of them wants to know, where's Marc Ryan and why is he not on the show? And this is not even Mark's time slot anyway. So somebody is probably getting an early start to the weekend. Maybe
you need to work on this because you want to be right at 50-50.
Well, I was early on. It was one of each. But here of late, there have been a couple of other ones come in, including from our my friend Ray and Greer. He says, "Wow, blast from the past. Good to hear an old friend on the air. He didn't have to call me old."
I was going to say, when you hear blast from the past, that's not exactly a compliment.
I get it, but it was meant as a compliment. How about that? At least that's the way I'm taking it. And then somebody said, "Good to hear Dan on the radio. Weekend made." Somebody with very low expectations for their weekend, obviously. But again, I greatly appreciate it. So, here's the litmus test. Today, not so much, because this is a one-time thing. I did it once last month. In 2 weeks, when I fill in on this show in this time slot, Monday through Friday, 3 hours a day for 5 straight days, by the time we get to about Wednesday, in the second half of the week, Wednesday through Friday, let's see what the text line looks like then. Then I think that will be the true litmus test. Because today, I put some stuff together, trying to have a little bit of fun, get some guys on the air, and just talk about a few things coming up this weekend. We'll really have some time that week to get into some things that I have had some opinions about for a long time. And we will see where the text line falls and the phone calls fall when that week rolls on, the 27th of this month through October 1st, that Monday through Friday. 2 weeks from this Monday, I begin a week-long guest hosting shot here on the Rob Brown Show. By the way, I know Rob checked in to test out his connection for Mark's show. Did he give any explanation as to why he's taking vacation during college football season?
Well, I don't want to disclose, but just in case he's listening, I will disclose. That way he can be angry at me.
Please do.
Well, I'm working on it. I haven't been able to get him really mad at me yet, and it's what I do. It's what I'm known for. So I believe he didn't organize the trip, but someone else did. That's all I'm going to say.
Happy wife, happy life, kind of in that general direction, even though maybe he's not married.
Yes.
Is that kind of where you're going with this?
That would be the direction that you should go in. Yes.
Yeah. So now it all makes sense. I'm still going to give him as much grief as I can, but it still makes sense because I think we've all been there. And you're talking to a guy who just, what is today? Today is the 17th. 16 days ago, on the 1st of this month, I celebrated my 32nd wedding anniversary. Angela and I got married on a Friday night on September the 1st back in 1989. Now, I had no idea then where my career was going to take me and that I would be involved in college football, especially for as long as I have been, as deep as I have been since then. So I get something of a pass on that, but I have spent many more anniversaries working than I have together with Angela. But we've learned to adjust, and she's been a trooper about it. Rob, I'm not sure, has that excuse. He can't play the I didn't know the gun was loaded game.
Well, there are advantages to saying yes, even during these times, because then you get advantages later. Like, we went here. I need to go here. I need to fly across the country to go see this football game. And it's like, yeah, you went here with me. Go ahead. It's that type of thing. It's compromise. I've been married almost 29 years. Compromise it's a wonderful thing. And it's also whatever she says.
Right. Exactly. What's mine is mine and what's yours is mine. That is the compromise that makes for that happy wife, happy life type of situation. So anyway, just curious about, because all the time, we talked about this a little earlier when we opened up the show. One of the things that you do not do in the South is schedule a wedding during college football season. You just don't do it. And not take a heap of scorn and derision from friends and family and risk people not showing up, especially if it's on a home weekend. The flip side of that is if it's an away weekend and you could secure the football stadium as the wedding venue, then you might be a hero for life. But that's, it's another story for another time. But in any event, Rob is going to be here at 3:00 for Marc Ryan. I'm not even going to get into why Mark's not here. That we'll just kind of let that one rest. But the phone number again is 844-477-3776. That's 844-GSP-ESPN. The text line, ESPN, the keyword to 71307 with your note, and we'd love to hear from you. All right, let's. Do we need to take the break now, or do we need to wait for a minute? Because I do want to I hear the music. Let's take the break now. When we come back, I want to get into who Taylor Heineke is and why that gives people like Lonzo and I hope that we can still make something of ourselves professionally. That, your phone calls, your text, hour number 2 of the Rob Brown Show, co-hosted or guest hosted by yours truly, Dan Scott, will continue in just a moment.
The Rob Brown Show. Listen on your computer and tablet at ESPNUpstate.com.
Prisma, the official healthcare provider of the Clemson Tigers, the official healthcare provider of the Gamecocks, of the University of South Carolina, and the official healthcare provider.
All right, you got about 4 minutes. I am going to the restroom.
When I got here to the Upstate, one of the first things you got to do when you move to a new hood is find out where you're going to go to the doctor, man. You got to have a doctor. You got to have somebody. So if you get into trouble, you got somebody you can trust, you like, you can talk to. So I started asking around, hey, where should I go? Who should I see? And everybody I spoke with when I moved here said, hey, I go to Prisma because they make it fast, because they make it easy, because they make it convenient, because they streamline all your information, because they have so many doctors. I have found one that works for me and my family. I started out with Prisma, and I haven't looked back since I moved here to the Upstate. You won't either. Check out their website at prismahealth.org. Prismahealth.org. They put everything right there for you. The 2,400 plus doctors. You can search through them and find one that you can trust. The locations all around the Upstate and the Midlands, so you can find one convenient to you right there on the website. The My Chart feature, so that you can keep all of your health information right in front of you for you and your doctor to keep an eye on it, streamlined and easy. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it is that simple. Go to prismahealth.org, prismahealth.org to learn more. The official healthcare provider of the Gamecocks and the Tigers. It's our friends at Prisma Health.
From the 106.3 WORD Weather Center, here's the Upstate's most trusted forecast on ESPN Upstate. A few spotty showers and thunderstorms at times this afternoon, with partial sunshine developing and a high around 83. Tonight's light chance for rain and storms, cloudy, low of 68. Saturday chance for storms, a high of 85, and Sunday chance for storms, high of 83. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki on ESPN Upstate. Currently, it's 79.
Keep up to date with every Upstate high school football game in real time with the ESPN Upstate score stream at espnupstate.com. Set up a profile, create your feed, and follow your favorite teams. Know when the big plays happen and when the games go final. The ESPN Upstate score stream. Get all the high school football scores in one place at espnupstate.com.
Join the Greenville Triumph Soccer Club as they celebrate Hispanic Heritage Night this Saturday night, September 19th, against FC Tucson at 7 p.m. at Legacy Early College. Tickets start at just $10 and they will go fast. Get yours at triumphtix.com. That's Triumph, TIX.com. Acompaña al Club de Fútbol Greenville Triumph en su celebración de la Noche de la Herencia Hispana este 19 de septiembre contra el equipo FC Tucson a las 7 p.m. en la Escuela Legacy. Las entradas empiezan desde $10 y se agotan rápido. Compra tu boleto de entrada en triumphtix.com. No lo olvides, triumphtix.com.
This Friday and Saturday, it's the City of Malden's annual barbecue cook-off at the Malden Cultural Center. Over 20 cookers from across the Southeast bring you their best barbecue and more. Great music and family fun in the kids zone, too. For more info, just go to maldenbbq.com.
Hey, it's Bill Donovan, General Manager of Breakaway Honda. With record sales of new Hondas, we have had a tremendous amount of cars traded in. Right now, we have our best selection of pre-owned vehicles. We have cars from $5,000 to luxury vehicles, and we have the Upstate's best selection of certified Hondas as well. Plus, we have finance rates from 1.9% on select certified Hondas. Come see us now at Breakaway Honda, 330 Woodward Road or breakawayhonda.com.
In this market, you'll find Fisher Investments is different than other money managers.
Fisher is different? How? Don't you just ride the wave?
Nope. We actively manage client portfolios based on our forward-looking views of the market. In times like these, we understand that clients want proactive communication and guidance.
You don't just provide cookie-cutter portfolios?
No, we get to know our clients so we can tailor their portfolios to their specific goals and needs. We even offer resources on Social Security, Medicare, tax efficiency, and more. Our primary goal is to help them achieve a comfortable retirement.
But you still sell investments that generate high commissions, right?
No, we don't sell commission products. Fisher Investments is a fiduciary, the highest standard for a financial advisor. It means we're there for our clients and always put their interest first.
So when do you make more money? Only when your clients make more money?
Yep, our fees are transparent, structured so we do better when our clients do better. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you are switching to us. Fisher Investments, clearly different money management.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
5G is here, but the big carriers want you to sign a pricey long-term contract to get in on the action. Well, no more, because Straight Talk Wireless has rolled out 5G coverage nationwide, with plans starting at just $35 a month.
As long as it's not a competing radio station, no.
5G for only $299, all on America's
go
best
for
networks. 5G coverage, 5G phone.
If you enunciate correctly, yes.
No compromise. 5G capable device required. Actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary.
How great is it when you get to choose your favorite movie to watch? Well, ZipRecruiter's Invite to Apply lets you pick your favorites from the best candidates. ZipRecruiter sends you qualified candidates, and you can easily invite your top choices to apply for your job. Lauren Webb, Senior Vice President of Talent Acquisition for Mindula Health, raves about ZipRecruiter's Invite to Apply. She says, I love that feature because we have a much higher follow-through rate if I invite candidates. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/KELLERMAN to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/Kellerman.
I've heard such things happen on WRD
sponsored
before.
by
and
Smart
I've
Mouth,
had to,
the only
had
24-hour
to dump some
mouthwash
people.
with twice daily
I don't
use.
think I've
Big
worked with a
interview.
host
You check
yet
your suits,
that I
your
haven't had to
resume,
dump at
your
some
palms.
point.
But wait, did you check your breath? Get Smart Mouth, the only mouthwash
Some
that
of them,
provides 24
they
hours
don't
of
like
fresh
that.
breath with
Why'd
just
you
2
dump
rinses
me?
a day. Find Smart
Because I
Mouth in
thought
the
I should.
mouthwash aisle at Walmart or get 20%
back.
off at smartmouth.com/radio.
Join the Rob Brown Lockdown on Twitter. Tweet at The Rob Brown Show on the Upstate Sports Leader, ESPN Upstate.
That is dedication right there. Absolutely.
But we got it, and we'll figure it out. All right, we've got just a couple of minutes here. Washington beat New York last night, beat the Giants in the NFL Thursday night game. And Taylor Heineke was the starting quarterback because Ryan Fitzpatrick got injured last week. Taylor Heineke is a guy who gives all of us a little bit of hope to still make something of ourselves. Have you seen this guy's journey to becoming the starting quarterback for the Washington football team? He, first of all, is a Old Dominion University guy. And he was there when they were an FCS team before they made the jump up. 4-year starter for the Monarchs. Completed over 67% of his passes, 132 touchdowns. Undrafted in 2015, signed with the Vikings undrafted, won the third-string job, stayed there in Minnesota, was cut loose in 2017 after being injured, was with the Patriots for a month, released in October 2017. November 2017, played one game for the Houston Texans, completed his only pass out. He was waived the following April. He got an extended look when Ron Rivera was the coach of the Panthers in 2018 on waivers, actually played in 6 games backing up Cam Newton. Then he was released. Panthers re-signed him, then released him again. He was in the XFL in 2020. COVID wiped that out, and he signs with Washington. Played last year in the playoffs and did well, and now here he is the starter. What a story. There's hope for you, Lonzo. There's hope for me. There's hope for all of us. There's hope that we'll be back for the hour or the third hour of the show in just a minute as well. Stay tuned. This is ESPN Upstate.
ESPN Upstate, WYRD Greenville, WORD Spartanburg, WFBC FM HD3.
An Odyssey station.
AutomotiveMap.com presents the Sports Flash on ESPN Upstate.
First and 10, Heineke looks right, throws toward the end zone. Jump ball, corner of the end zone. Logan Thomas with the seal. Touchdown! Rick
He seals Jones. That's the action courtesy of the Washington Football Network. 30-29, the final last night over the New York Giants. Washington improves to 1-1. The Giants are 0-2. Taylor Heineke, 2 touchdown passes on the night, 34-46 passing, 336 yards. He was picked off once. On the other side, Daniel Jones, 22 of 32 passing, 249 yards and a touchdown. Dustin Hopkins was the hero. He made a 43-yard field goal to win it after Graham Gano's 5th field goal of the game put the Giants up 29-27 with 2 minutes left. ESPN Upstate is your home for Burns Rebels high school football play-by-play every Friday night at 7 o'clock. That's the Sports Flash. I'm Chuck Sanders on ESPN Upstate.
Have you heard the Rob Brown Show?
I got no issue with a conspiracy theorist on this one. Oh, do we have the music? Can we get the music? Did the NBA conspiracy cancel Chris Paul? Conspiracy. Knowing that Kawhi Leonard was unavailable? Conspiracy. Did the NBA force Chris Paul to sit out Game 2? Conspiracy. Only to give the Clippers a chance without their superstar? Conspiracy. Only time will tell. Conspiracy. For now, we'll leave that decision up to you. Conspiracy. Coming up next on the Rob Brown Show. Conspiracy. Something he's told you for weeks. Conspiracy. Comes true. According to someone he agrees with. I can't even come up with a good tease because this music's so good.
Hey, Greenville, Spartanburg. Catch the Rob Brown Show. Weekdays noon to 3.
Brandon standing by.
ESPN Upstate. Conspiracy.
And I will, I was going to say, I think I got enough music to play the cut, but the music may end in the middle of it.
It's going to be, really important for us to get back to work and make sure that we correct some of the things that didn't go our way.
After a devastating week 1 for Matt Ryan and the Falcons, they head to Tampa to face Tom Brady and the defending Super Bowl champion Buccaneers.
Brady controls end zone.
Yeah.
Got a touchdown.
Sunday afternoon at 4. The NFL plays here on ESPN Upstate.
Warning.
Man, check this out.
For an official Rob Brown lockdown.
Represents being real. Yeah.
Real, unfiltered sports talk. Manufactured locally for the Carolinas.
Ask me in the next break and I'll tell you.
It's the Rob Brown Show.
Yeah.
Only on ESPN.
ESPN Upstate.
Hour number 3. Dan Scott in for Rob Brown. They have not canceled the show. You know how sometimes every fall there's a new TV season and a show will air once and the ratings will be so bad that it never airs again. I made it through the first 2 hours. I take that as a good sign that I get the third hour and I'm still on the schedule for
I just got to say, Dan, I've been on the air before and was called by the PD and said, pull the plug right now.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a fun experience for either person.
No, it's not. No, it's not. I've had that happen. It is not fun. But the good news is it hasn't happened here, right? Hasn't happened here. Coming up later in this hour, Gary Hahn, the play-by-play voice of North Carolina State, will join us. A couple of segments to maybe get to some phone calls as well. We've got a guest on, but before we get to him, I want to play an audio clip of one of his greatest moments as a collegiate athlete, a football player at the University of South Carolina. Now, I'm going to tell you, somebody mashed this up. It's the call of a 2-play sequence, and it alternates in sequence between legendary broadcast voices Larry Munson of Georgia and Bob Fulton of the University of South Carolina. Take a listen to this.
They're in that inverted wishbone, like a power eye thing. And Tannehill gives it to him. He dives, and we hit him and stop him short of the goal line. We tackle him on about the 1 or 2 foot line as Bennett leaps. Watch the clock. 18, 17, 16. Lay down, you guys. 14, 13, 12. Lay down, 11, 10.
5 seconds. They line up to the power line again. 5 seconds. Give the ball to Bennett. He dives.
Bennett, a great athlete, leaped over the pile and broke our hearts with 2 seconds to go.
Carolina will draw 15-yard penalty. Who cares? Celebrating. I know there's only 2 seconds remaining in the ball game.
I get chills, man. our guest is that great athlete who leaped over the top and broke our hearts. Brandon Bennett is joining us. How you doing, buddy?
Man, I'm good. What's going on? Look, man, every time I hear that, boy, y'all take me somewhere, man. I love that. I love that.
Does it make you want to strap him back on and go play again?
Hey, you know what? I'm kind of old right now, but you know what? I like thinking about it. You know what I mean?
Hey, are you in that stage of life, Brandon, where the older you get, the better you were?
Yeah, exactly, man. You know what I mean? I think now that, you just have the time to sit back and look and say, damn, bro, I used to do a little something. You know what I mean? And not that, hey, I want to go do that. You know, now you just look and say, hey, I used to do them things, man.
And now you have reached the stage where you've got a son playing college football at Coastal Carolina. How is that possible? When you used to come and be on my old radio show all those years ago, I remember you showing me a video on your cell phone of one of his first ever rec league games when he was running rampant through all these little 8 and 9-year-old kids. And now he's playing at Coastal Carolina. That's just not possible.
You know, it's crazy. Sometimes I look at it myself and I'm like, wow, I'm old, you know what I mean? But it's cool, man. It's cool because we sit there and, it's wild because, you look at Facebook stuff and all that or whatever, and you kind of see those memories come up, and it's kind of awesome to sit there and see those things come up, and then now see Braden down at Coastal, and he's playing football, and he's doing really good. He's a redshirt down there and freshman, and he's playing and he's making plays, and it's wild because the conversations have totally changed from just us, Dad, if I score a touchdown, can we go to McDonald's? You know what I mean? Now it's, hey, Dad, look, man, I can mess around and be on this ESPN if I do good enough, you know what I mean? So it's pretty cool, and just the maturity level now, the conversation of me and him and Dad, now he wants to really talk to Dad and understand being a running back and the things that he needs to work on, and how do you read this, Dad, and how do you do that, and how do you handle these situations and talking to people and fans and signing autographs and different things. And, because Braden is super chill, he's super quiet. He's one of those kids that, he could walk in the room and you never know he's there because he's just that laid back, and you talk to him and he did a great job, and he just like, thank you.
So he's not like his dad, in other words.
You know what? It's funny. He is so chill. The way sometimes I have to say, Dad, I have to say, son, look here, bro. You just killed it, man. Sometimes it's okay to say, hey, I did work today. So it's good. He's humble, man, and he's at Coastal and doing Coastal's. They're doing a great job down there. Great coaching staff, and he got a great group of running backs to learn with and through and communicate with and everything or whatever. So it's a good fit for him. I'm happy with what's going on there with him.
It's really interesting because you and I had this conversation a little bit yesterday as we were setting this up. For any parent, and you don't know this until you get to that stage, but both of my daughters are grown now. My oldest is 31. My youngest is 25. She'll be 26. They both have children. They made me a grandfather, and I still don't understand how that happened so quickly. But the conversations we have now obviously are very, very different than the ones when they were growing up. And there's something special about that, especially when they begin to see life through the same kind of eyes that you did and begin to understand, oh, that's why he made that kind of decision when I wanted to do this and he wouldn't let me because I might have killed myself. Those kind of conversations are fantastic. You get to take it to even another level because you've got a son who's playing Division I college football. You played Division I college football as well as an extended career in the NFL with the Cincinnati Bengals. So for Braden, and correct me if I'm wrong, it's gone from, hey, it's pretty cool. My dad was a college football player, and so I get all this attention because he did this and then the NFL, and I get a ride on his coattails, to now he's going through some of the same things, and you guys can take those conversations and share those kind of moments as father and son.
It really is pretty awesome because now, I tell him, I used to tell him all the time that, I trained by myself, and he was like, why? I said, because I'm not going to ever let me down. You know what I mean? And I've always been scared to be that weak link. So I was going to work my butt off in the mix of that. And I'm a big visualizer, you know, so I'm like, hey, bro, I used to always visualize, you know, me doing things and being put in certain situations and how would I handle it. You know, so when it came to game time, I visualized everything that could happen. So it slowed the game down. So now the conversations with him are exactly that. It's like, Dad, you know what? You know, I was just thinking about this and we're running these plays and this is what's going on and that is going on and whatever. He's like, and this is how I handle it. You know, so it is crazy. I'm playing devil's advocate with him to make him, I always tell him, look, I want you to be comfortable being uncomfortable. You know what I mean? So anything comes at you, you ready for it. You know, so I come and say, he had just called me. They were just getting on the flight to head to Buffalo. They got Buffalo tomorrow. And he was just like going through the plays, you know, and I was like, okay, well, what about this defense? What are they running in this? And he's just like, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, well, what about that? No, I can't do that right there because they're good inside, you know, so I have to be able to do this and that and the third. And it's just, you know, and it's wild because a lot of the stuff that he comes up with and we talk about now are things that I was talking to him about a long, long time ago. And I told him, you may not understand it now, but you will later. And that's what he's saying. Now, he said, Dad, I remember now when you used to tell me, hey, to read the first down lineman and wherever he goes opposite of him. You know, and now he's just like, dude, I just keep reading him. This guy goes past me, I go past it. I cut back, and then I end up on the outside, on the other side, you know. So it's really cool to be able to talk to him now and for him to have the conversation and the intelligence to be able to ask me these questions instead of me saying, hey, what type of defense and where is that guy lining up and what is he doing? He's like, I don't really know. Now he calls me and like, hey, Dad, they're in a 4-3 defense. You got safety over top, corners over there, short side of the field. He made blitz. So I got to make sure in protection, I got to watch him and then release out in the routes. You know, so it's nice. It's very, you know, it's very, you know, just nice to be able to talk to him and see that how far he's grown and the understanding he has and, you know, just why he's doing good, me understanding the why.
Yeah. Now, are you, because of your pedigree, playing where you played, college, NFL, are you quick to offer critiques of him after games, or do you wait for him to come? Are you one of those dads?
No, man. Let me tell you something. You know, and it's funny because, you know, and I told you this a long time ago, man, back then when he was 7, 8 running around, Braden always calls me, you know, when we're talking sports, is coach. You know what I mean? Because I always wanted him to separate it so he didn't feel as though Dad was punishing him at home and all of the whatever. Mm-hmm. You know, so even now when we're out there and he comes off the field, it's a hug, it's a forehead kiss, and it's me reading him. I let him bring it out, you know, because the sad reality is your kid wants your approval. You know what I mean? So if you start pounding him about things that he did wrong or things that, you know, man, I think they should have did this or this should have happened, whatever, then you could take their joy away. You know what I mean? And I never want to do that. So with him, I'm always, hey, how you think he did? What's going on? You know, and Braden always comes straight out and talks to me and all that way. And I know I'm his comfort zone, you know? So with that, I always let him bring to light of what he wants to talk about. And I'm never super negative. I don't talk about like coaches stuff. I don't say, hey man, they should have did this, man. I can't believe them coaches, whatever, because with mine and his relationship, I know that may reflect on how he sees them and the respect that he has for them.
You know, you're talking to a preacher's son here. I'm about ready to pass the plate and take up a collection. That's a model for how a sports parent should be, as we continue talking with Brandon Bennett, the former Gamecock and Cincinnati Bengals running back. Let's talk a little bit about your Gamecock. Shane Beamer is 2-0. Are they ready to build a statue to him down there in Columbia?
No, not yet. You know what I mean? But you know what? The thing about it is this, man. People are excited. The kids are responding. You know, I see them working and trying to do what he's asking of them or whatever. You know what I mean? So people are excited, you know, and like I said, I talked to the players down there, whatever. I was down for a track meet, and the players were just like, you know, hey, we feel different. You know what I mean? We feel as though we're moving in the right direction and things like that. And he's communicating with the kids and he's interacting with the kids or whatever. And that's what's important. Those guys got to feel as though that he believes in them and what he said is gold. Because the thing is this, man, you get somebody to believe in you, especially as a football player, man, or as an athlete, period, you believe in somebody, you're going to work your butt off to try to do everything possible to be successful. And that's what those guys are doing down there. They're trying to do everything possible to be able to be successful and to be thought of as, like winners, man. We've been struggling for a while. But, these guys now, man, you're starting to see guys that are really trying to do the things that they need to do to be successful with studying film and, doing more, staying after, working hard, trying to find out more that they can do. And that's big.
Yeah, he definitely has made it a regular habit of what we call winning the press conference. He says all the right things, and the kids are responding. The reality is, though, that he's got a lot of work to do to rebuild that program down there, doesn't he? The talent level is not where it needs to be to even think about being successful consistently in the Southeastern Conference. Am I right?
Yes. Oh, definitely. Well, and the thing is that, man, you've had a bunch of guys to exit the program. You've had, 3 different coaches in the last couple of years or whatever, so it's going to take him a minute to be able to get the kids in there that can run the program. Run in the system. Because realistically, I don't even know what system we're running right now. I think they're still trying to figure out what they have and what they can muster together to be able to, because of the bits and pieces that we had come in and that we had to leave out.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's something that people need to understand, is that when you're a coach and you have people, you're just not getting in there. These kids got to learn you. You got to learn your program. You got to learn the kids. You got to learn, what works in your conference. You know what I mean? So he has a lot that he has to do and try to work and figure out. And with that, I think that he's going to get the kids that are going to want to come in there and play the good kids. Because the SEC it's a great conference, man. You just got Texas to moving to Oklahoma moving there. That's huge, bro. You know what I mean? So you're going to get people that want to come in there because they're going to want to play against the Alabamas, the Georgias, Floridas, Tennessee, those type people. So he'll get the guys. It's just a matter of, when,
mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? How quickly he can just get those type guys in there. He starts getting them in there. I think that it's because you look at our facilities, man, we got beautiful facilities. You know what I mean? So we're not lacking in that area. It's just a matter of just getting the consistency of a coach that's going to be there to be able to get those guys to trust and believe. And I think that's a lot with winning South Carolina with recruiting and stuff.
Visiting with Brandon Bennett, the former Gamecock and Bengals running back. Before we let you go, for a guy who did it at the highest level, the internet, especially social media, has made everybody an expert when it comes to how to play the game and how to coach the game and do everything else. How incredibly difficult and really unlikely is it not only to make the jump from high school to Division I college and be successful, but from D1 college to the NFL? Because the percentage of players who really do that, the number is so minuscule that it's ridiculous. And that's why you hear coaches all the time, or people all the time, maybe not all coaches, but a lot of coaches, get that education, take care of that business as well. Because the realistic, the reality of it is that getting there, your chances of doing it are not good.
Oh yeah, definitely. You know what? It's funny because, with me, I talk with kids regularly with what I do, you know what I mean? With the sports training and stuff like that. And with my boys, really, I talk to them, and I tell them that right now you need to dress to where it's appealing to people. You need to talk intelligently. You need to surround yourself with people that are whom you want to be like, you know what I mean? And try to the words that come out your mouth need to be so intelligent that people want to see you to be successful. They want you to be successful, because the thing is that, you're right, man. Sports is tough, dude. It is tough, man. Being in the NFL, man, I've seen so many guys come and go through my 10 years playing. And I felt bad for them because they didn't have the people in their corner to say, hey, you know what? Dress nice, speak right, get with this guy. You know, my mother used to always tell me, hey, if you're the smartest one in your group, Brandon, you need to get another group, and I feel bad for those guys. You know what I mean?
It seems like I've heard that before.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So, I mean, but with that, you know, I always tell my boys the same thing. I'm just like, look, man, you got to try to be intelligent. People, you know, when sports is over, whenever that is, whether it's high school, college, or pro, you know, people are going to offer jobs and you know, do things, buy things from people whom they appreciate, who they care about, who they like, who they think they're intelligent or whatever. Because now, you know, I was told when I got into the league, you are your own corporation. So whatever you put out as your corporation is what people are going to either buy or they're going to pass on.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so what are you gonna put out here? So, you know, with my boys, with anybody I come into contact with, I always tell them, hey, you know what? Think of that. Think about, you know, don't think, you know, these little boys running around here with just looking bad in their clothes, you know, just different stuff, just looking crazy or what I had not done, whatever. And I'm any color. You know, me and you, we talk any color.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And then you mad because people judge you a certain way, but why wouldn't they when you're putting that perception out there that, hey, you're a ghetto kid or you're, you know what I mean, an ignorant person or whatever. You know what I mean? So you need to put things out here that you want people to see and want people to think of you as an intelligent person. You know what I mean? So be intelligent, dress intelligently, dress nicely.
They got names for everybody, whether it's ghetto or white trash or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But the message that you are preaching, my friend, crosses all racial and cultural boundaries. Do the right thing, take care of yourself, surround yourself with the right people. It seems so simple, doesn't it?
Man, let me tell you something. Hey, I grew up, man, and I'm telling you, man, my mom used to always say, you know what, ignorance don't have no color. And that's true. You know what I mean? And she used to always tell me, too, to always think of things, try to put yourself in that other person's shoes, because you don't know where they came from. So if you don't know where they came from, you don't know why they acting or doing or saying as they are.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep, absolutely.
So, you know, so with me, I don't judge anybody, you know what I mean, off of what nobody says or whatever. And I interact with any and everybody, and I give any and everybody, probably to a fault, the benefit of the doubt, because I want to learn who they are. And sometimes I win and sometimes I lose. But you know what? I never lose because of me not giving an opportunity to somebody. And I'm good with that.
I hear you.
And that's what I tell my boys. Color means nothing to me, man. I love everybody.
I'm going to take up another collection. I'm going to pass the plate again. Brandon, we got to catch up more often, my friend. It's been good talking to you. We got to get to a break.
Yes, sir. Anytime, man. Anytime.
I'll yell at you. I'm doing this again for a week. In a couple of weeks, maybe we'll get a chance to do this again.
Yeah, hey, bro, anytime, man. I appreciate it, man. Hey, go Cox. And, hey, go Coastal Carolina. Everybody, let's go.
All right. That's Brandon Bennett, the former Gamecock and Cincinnati Bengals running back and proud father of Braden Bennett down at Coastal Carolina. We got to get caught up on a break. We'll be back with more. Dan Scott in for Rob Brown here on ESPN Upstate.
The Rob Brown Show. Listen on your Amazon or Google smart speaker. Just say, play ESPN Upstate.
It is Friday. It is the weekend, and your friends, your family, they're going out. They're heading out. They're going to have a good time tonight, but you ain't going. Why? Why are you not going? Because you started a diet, and on that diet, you have to eat prepackaged food. You have to drink nasty, disgusting shakes. They give you this little packet of powder. You got to pour it into water, and they tell you that's a meal. Well, I will tell you that is not a meal. That is a drink. A meal is real food, like the real food you can eat with the Health Air. If you had went with the Health Air, first of all, you'd be going with a proven plan, a guaranteed plan. You're going to lose weight in 30 days or your money back. A plan that's so simple that anyone can do it. It's not too late. Ditch the diet, go with the Health Air. This thing really works. And speaking of real food, you can eat the food that's in your fridge, it's in your pantry, and you can go out with your friends and family because you can have fast food and carbs with the Health Air. Now, you may say, this is too good to be true, Lonzo. Well, it's not. When you go into the Health Air offices and they set you down, the Health Air coach puts this plan in front of you, you'll start checking off boxes and realize that Lonzo was right. I was right. You can do this because you can. And you know what else? You don't have to do it by yourself. You bring somebody with you. It's buy one, get one free, which means you pay half, they pay half. You guys both get the program. You both get healthy from a cellular level. You're going to look good. You're going to feel good, and you get to go out tonight. So what are you waiting for? Here's how you get started with the Health Dare. Go to idareme.com. Fill out some information, and one of the Health Dare coaches will bring you in for a free consultation, get you on the way to losing that weight. And don't forget, it is buy one, get one free. Go to idareme.com today. And when you're there, please make sure you tell them that Lonzo dared you.
AutomotiveMap.com presents the Sports Flash on ESPN Upstate. Baseball on Thursday. Atlanta's home game against the Rockies postponed. No makeup date has been announced. Atlanta starts a series at San Francisco tonight. 7-5. Ian Anderson starts against Logan Webb. Atlanta with a 3.5 game lead on top of the NL East. In 10 innings, the Orioles slipped by the Yankees 3-2. Tampa with a 5-2 win over the Tigers. The Rays able to extend their American League East lead to 8.5 games. Elsewhere, the Phillies pounded the Cubs 17-8. The Reds shut out the Pirates 1-0. Toronto and Boston hold the two American League wild cards. New York now a half game out. In the National League, San Diego, Cincinnati, Philadelphia, and the Mets all chasing St. Louis for the one remaining wild card slot. Thursday night football, Washington beat the Giants 30-29. Dustin Hopkins with a 43-yard field goal to win it. 2 touchdown passes for Washington's Taylor Heineke. Classic Rock 101.1 airs Carolina Panthers football every Sunday. Carolina kickoff starts 2 hours before kickoff. That's the Sports Flash. I'm Chuck Sanders on ESPN Upstate.
Hi, this is Cole Bryson, the play-by-play voice of the Burns Rebels. It's Burns at Gaffney tonight on ESPN Upstate and on the Odyssey app.
The Burns Rebels, powered by your local Ingles Market. 97.7 FM in Greenville, 97.1 FM Spartanburg.
Welcome to Moe's!
Nothing goes better with movie, game, or family night than a Moe's meal kit. Well, maybe our famous queso. But don't worry, it comes in every kit with your choice of premium proteins and fresh ingredients. Our nacho, taco, and fajita kits will silence even the pickiest of eaters. Plus, there's no dish duty. Because when you've had a hard day, Moe's meal kits make it an easy night. Order through Moe's.com or the Moe's app.
Welcome to Moe's!
What can give you a competitive edge in today's red-hot housing market? Rocket can. That's because Rocket Mortgage can give you a verified approval. It could help your offer stand out. Rocket Technology provides a rock-solid verification of your income, assets, and credit, giving sellers greater confidence in you. Go to rocketmortgage.com or call us today at 8338-ROCKET.
A verified approval is based on an underwriter's analysis of your individual financial information, appraisal, and title report. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender license in all 50 states and MLSConsumerAccess.org number 33.
People who are vaccinated are getting sick from COVID variants, and Americans have no end of questions and concerns. What we do know is that fever is the leading sign of COVID, so everyone needs an accurate thermometer. Exogen temporal scanners' accuracy is backed by more than 100 clinical studies, while non-contact devices have no supporting studies. They miss fevers and give a dangerous and false sense of security. Remember, vaccines are not enough, and you need an accurate thermometer. Learn more at exogen.com.
Hey, this is Don with American Made Windows with good news. We're extending our Back to Cool special through September 30th. With cooler, wetter weather on the way, we're offering $50 off per window so your home will be ready. That's right, through September 30th only, get $50 off our already low price per window with the purchase and installation of 5 or more. Visit amwupstate.com or call 334-6030. And remember, the best windows are American made.
What's up? What's happening? It's your boy Q, host of Locked On Bets. My tag team partner, Lee Sterling from ParamountSports.com, provides all the fantastic intel on each event that we talk about on the daily. Some of our normal features, we got the WTF, that's the wrong team favorite. We got the blowout special, and my favorite, the lock of the day. Not only the lock, but what level lock is it? Locked On Bets, the best daily sports wagering show, period. On the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcast.
Nobody protects you from mayhem like Allstate. On that heavy shelf you hung yesterday. Turns out you didn't use enough anchors. Wait, you didn't use any anchors? Now you've got an open floor plan. Trendy. And if you have the wrong home insurance, you could need a wall of money to fix this. So get home insurance with Allstate and be better protected from mayhem, like me.
Based on coverage and limits selected. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Vehicle and Property Insurance Company and affiliates, Norfolk, Illinois.
Hey, this is Bomani Jones. What's your favorite podcast?
Let me tell you why that'll be number 2 after you listen to mine.
30 seconds.
3 times a week, I'm going to challenge you to keep up with me as I discuss topics from the latest in technology and music, and people getting dunked on. Also, you'll get the very best analysis of the games, and we watch them with encyclopedic level historical connection. Plus, we have got a community of guests that you'll feel like are your closest friends in no time. Listen and subscribe to The Right Time with Bomani Jones Podcast, wherever you get your podcasts.
There's the rest, and then there's the best. You're listening to the best sports talk show in the state, according to the South Carolina Broadcasters Association. The Rob Brown Show on ESPN Upstate.
And while Rob is off counting up his accolades, I'm here ruining his show. I'm Dan Scott. Rob will actually be up next, filling in for Marc Ryan, Offsides with Marc Ryan from 3 to 7. That's coming up in just a little over half an hour. So we're back. I just want to spend just a couple of minutes. This is going to be a short segment so we can get out and get Gary Hahn on in the next segment, the play-by-play voice of North Carolina State. Not done much in the way of soapboxing today. I'll probably do a little more of that in the next, when I do it week after next, when I host the entire week. But I just want to come back off of something that Brandon Bennett said. If you weren't with us just a moment ago, what an incredible interview with the former Gamecock and Cincinnati Bengals running back. And Brandon and I go back a long ways. He has done a lot of radio with me over the years, and we developed a relationship. And you may have heard him say it. I didn't say it. You may have heard him say it. He said, you and me, we can talk about all colors. And that's the kind of relationship that we built largely because of the type of person that Brandon is. And if you didn't catch what he said, I just want to reiterate it, that he was taught by his mama to treat people the right way, to speak intelligently, to dress properly, to surround himself with the right kind of people, to give himself the best chance to be successful. And also, like what he said, if I was the smartest person in a group, my mama told me I needed to find a different group to be in. And I have lived that in my life as well. But this is coming from a very driven and very successful African-American man. And the point that I made and the point that I think needs to be reiterated is that advice covers the gamut. That's not an advice for a black man. That's not an advice for a white man. That's not advice for a Hispanic. It's not an advice for any particular race, group, culture, or people. It's advice for everybody. Dress well, speak well, surround yourself with the right kind of people, and give yourself the best chance to be successful. And oh, by the way, on top of all of that, be a good person. Brandon Bennett is a good person. And that above all the other accolades. And he's one of the best to ever strap it on at the University of South Carolina. He played 10 years in the NFL. He's got the resume. He when it comes time to saying, as he said a minute ago, I've been there and done that. I've done a little something, I think is the way he put it. He's got the resume. But beyond all of that stuff, the thing that makes Brandon Bennett stand out is that Brandon Bennett is a good person, and he treats people the way the Bible says to treat people. Treat people the way you want to be treated, the old golden rule. And it gets laughed at and scorned so much in this day and time and in this culture when it's all about me and what can I do to promote me, and the best way to promote me is to put somebody else down, whether it's an individual or a race or a group or a culture. And here's a guy who rises above all that simply because he is just an incredibly good man. I think that's a lesson for all of us to learn and an example for all of us to follow. We'll take a break. When we come back, Gary Hahn, the play-by-play voice of the North Carolina State Wolfpack, will join us here on the Rob Brown Show. Guest hosted today by Dan Scott. Right after this. Don't go away.
The Rob Brown Show. Listen on your computer and tablet at ESPNUpstate.com. From the Ingalls Market Studio, this is ESPN.
All right, so real quick, do you have the text line up? All right, at the top, there should be like a drop-down menu.
An
if you click on it, there should be a button that says info.
When this happens, you need an HVAC company you
Okay.
trust. A company like
So you clicked on that and you're still getting Battleground through there?
specialist
That's
will get your
weird.
system
Okay, because that's supposed to filter that out. Battleground is the name of Tara's podcast on WRD, and we share text line. So if you text that, you get a link to her podcast, which is pretty cool. And it's a national podcast. She
This
gets a
Friday
ton
and
of
Saturday,
hits.
it's the
So.
City of Malden's annual barbecue cook-off at the Malden Cultural Center. Over 20 cookers from across the
That's weird. I didn't
Southeast
realize
bring you
that's still
their best
filtered through. I don't know
barbecue
how we
and
could fix
more.
that,
Music
but
and family fun in the kids zone too. For more info, just go to maldenbbq.com.
This feature sponsored by Navage. Worried about what you're breathing in? With each breath, allergens, germs,
Well, now
and
you know.
viruses get trapped in your nose. Now there's a simple, easy, and effective way to clean your nose and protect your health. It's called Navage. N-A-V-A-G-E.
Oh, see now why you got to jinx it.
Available at Navage.com.
It's the Home and Auto Bundle Extravafesta Save-a-thon, the annual year-long event where you can save big by bundling Home and Auto with Progressive. So big that we're kicking things off with fireworks, a monster truck battle, a fighter jet flyover, and it wouldn't be a party without the Home and Auto Bundle Extravafesta Save-a-thon dancers. You can't really hear them, but trust us, they are working it. So come for the fun and stay for the savings. Only at Progressive's Home and Auto Bundle Extravafesta Save-a-thon. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
At Shell, we know from the time you get up to the time you wrap up,
Good night.
there's a lot of meetups, eat-ups, and hurry-ups. So come to Shell and get 3 things done at once. Fill up with Shell V-Power Nitro Plus to help keep your engine running like new. Save up with the Fuel Rewards program and never pay full price for gas again. And snack up with in-store rewards to save even more at the pump. Make the most of the stop you need to make with Shell and engines that continuously use Shell V-Power Nitro Plus premium gasoline. See full terms and conditions at fuelrewards.com.
We're planning a trip to Spain later this year.
But our Spanish is...
It's pretty bad. So we're using Babbel.
Babbel's conversation-based method teaches you real-life words and phrases. And with Babbel's interactive, bite-sized lessons, you'll remember what you learned.
There's no easier way to learn another language.
Ahora hablamos español.
He just said now he speaks Spanish.
Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel for free. Just go to Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
The original Peloton bike offers more motivation.
Great job, team!
70% of members say they work out more now with Peloton than before. Get game-changing cardio at a new game-changing price. The original Peloton bike, now $400 less. Learn more at onepeloton.com.
It's good to see the teams back out on the gridiron. Lucky for us, that was just week 1. DraftKings, the official daily fantasy partner of the NFL, is putting you in the center of the action for week 2. New customers can get a free shot at millions of dollars in total prizes with their first
he
deposit
sounds
by signing
exciting.
up using code PLAY. Get in on the action now.
Yes, he is.
It's simple. Just pick your lineup, stay under the salary cap, and see how your team stacks up against the competition.
Sure, it was my
Feel
fault.
the
He just didn't
NFL
like the
action
tone of my
like
voice.
never before, with a free shot at millions of dollars in total prizes.
Thank
Download
you.
the DraftKings app now and use code PLAY.
1 minute.
This week, new customers can get a free shot at millions of dollars in total
Sounded more like
prizes.
Marc Ryan,
Enter
but anyway.
promo code PLAY to get a free shot at millions in total prizes with your first deposit. That's promo code PLAY. Only
Yeah,
at
that's his
DraftKings,
kind of shade
the
for sure.
official daily fantasy partner of the NFL.
Minimum $5 deposit required. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for details.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. Packers linebacker Zadarius Smith goes on IR today with a back injury. He'll miss at least 3 games. Smith battled the injury during training camp, but was able to play 18 snaps in the opener against the Saints. Cowboys offensive lineman Ty Nsekhe is out of the hospital today after spending the night with a heat-related illness. He will not play Sunday against the Chargers. Chargers offensive lineman Brian Bulaga goes on injured reserve today with a back injury. He'll miss at least 3 games. He played in the opener against Washington, but had battled groin and back injuries in training camp. The Clippers break ground today on their new arena in Inglewood. The Intuit Dome will cost owner Steve Ballmer more than $2 billion. It's scheduled to open in the fall of 2024.
Opinions wanted.
Well, opinions are like, we'll say, everybody has one.
Call 844 GSP ESPN. Local sports talk on the Rob Brown Show on ESPN Upstate.
Dan Scott continuing to fill in for Rob Brown, who will be in for Marc Ryan coming up at 3 o'clock here on ESPN Upstate. Had a good time with you so far today, and hopefully we can finish strong here in the final couple of segments. I know that because of our next guest, we have a good chance of doing it for at least the next segment. Gary Hahn and I will be telling the same story from two different viewpoints tomorrow night. Me from the Furman microphone. Gary is the longtime and fantastic play-by-play voice of the North Carolina State Wolfpack and has been kind enough to join us here for a few minutes on the Rob Brown Show, hosted by Dan Scott today. Gary, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Dan. Good to be with you.
It's good to talk to you again, my friend. What year is this for you behind the Wolfpack mic now?
I think it's more than 30. I think it's 32.
You have seen a lot of changes and a lot of things come and go in North Carolina State sports since you've been there, but you have been the voice that's kind of anchored it all. And one of the things that I love about this business, and I've been in it a long time as well as you have, is when somebody gets a job that they love and gets to stay in a place like you have and have that kind of success for a long time. When you came to Raleigh 32 years ago, did you think this was going to be this kind of an extended stop?
Well, that's what I was sort of hoping for. The Lord protected me here. He brought me here, and they haven't run me out of town yet, so I guess things are still going pretty well.
Typical broadcaster, though, you put that qualifier in there yet, right? Just in case.
Well, that's you never know what's going to happen.
This is true. Hey, let's talk a little bit about the Wolfpack, and let's start defensively. How big of a loss is it going to be for Dave Doran's club not to have Peyton Wilson, the linebacker, and safety Cyrus Fagan moving forward? They're both out for the year after their injuries against Mississippi State. How big of a deal is that?
Well, I think last year it would have been a huge deal. And if you go back to the bowl game that State played in against Kentucky last year, State lost by just a couple of points and was without 5 of its top defenders because last year 5 DBs missed games, 7 different guys played free safety. It was just a total rotation over time, and there's more depth with NC State's defense now, and obviously a lot of different people are back. And Jalen Scott is the guy who's going to have to take over for Peyton Wilson. That's no small task, because Wilson was the ACC's tackle leader last year, but he's one of the most improved players on the team. So it's his time to get up and do it. And then at strong safety, Jakeem Harris had started the year with Cyrus Fagan pushing him. Then at Mississippi State, Fagan won the starting job and then unfortunately suffered a season-ending injury. So Jakeem Harris will be right back in there starting with Rakeem Ashford behind him. So I think State's defense is in a lot better shape than it was a year ago. And if you need college football now, you need all the depth you can get.
Yeah, and both of those guys are sophomores, so we're talking about young guys, but obviously young, talented guys.
Yeah, they've been. In fact, Scott started the Gator Bowl game because Peyton Wilson was out with an injury. Jakeem Harris has been a pretty solid guy since about midway from last year. He ended up being the Pack's number 3 tackler last year at about 6 a game. And again, Jalen Scott is a very, very improved player. Isaiah Moore in the middle is a third-year starter. Drake Thomas on the outside is a headhunter. He's the Pack's number 1 tackler coming into the ball game on Saturday. And there are guys behind him. Levi Jones is a second-year reserve, maybe one of the most versatile guys in the lineup. He played, I think it was 4 positions last year at Pitt, including nickel. I mean, that's the way it sort of was for NC State in the back 7 last year. It was just kind of mix and match. And fortunately, that's not the way it is this year.
Flip it over to the offensive side. How has Devin Leary been playing in your estimation? Because normally you look at an offense and it goes as well as a starting quarterback goes. His numbers look pretty good, but has he been playing as well as his numbers look?
Well, he played real well in the opener, just like the whole state team did. Hardly made a mistake. He had one underthrown ball that was intercepted, but that might have been the only mistake in the game for the offense, defense, or special teams. I mean, they really played well in the opener against South Florida, but that was not the case going to Mississippi State. The Pack had three red zone chances where they came out with no points, and you can't have that. The kickoff coverage team let the Pack down on the opening play of the game. Tulu Griffin took it 100 yards for a touchdown. 13 seconds into the game, you're down 7-0, and that's pretty tough to come back from. But the defense held the Pack in there, but Leary misfired on a couple of open receivers. He had, I think, Devin Carter once and C.J. Riley once. They were wide open with at least 5 yards of separation. One pass went off the fingertips of one receiver and just past the other one. And so those two plays should have been touchdowns, but they weren't. So just like, for the entire football team, this is a bounce-back week for not only Devin Leary, but for everybody. Offense, defense, special teams. Now, the defense did play well enough to win. I will have to say that at Mississippi State. They kept the Pack in the game, but the offense did not do the job. Special teams did not do the job. And so everybody's going to have to get together. This team needs to win this game. This is an important game. I think that everybody's had a good week of practice. I think they're excited and ready to play. And they're going to have to be good to get a little confidence going into the following week because the 6th-ranked Clemson Tigers are coming to Raleigh. So this is a game where NC State needs to settle down, play up to its capabilities, play like it did in the opener, and establish some consistent identity.
Visiting with Gary Hahn, the play-by-play voice of the North Carolina State Wolfpack. Media coaches are notorious for falling in love with cliches. Sometimes, though, Gary, the low-hanging fruit is there to be picked. So let me ask you this. If you look at this from strictly a cliche standpoint, there's no greater definition of a potential trap game for North Carolina State because of what you just said. You're coming off of Mississippi State last week. You've got number 6 Clemson at home next week, and here's a little old Furman right in the middle. Is there any chance that North Carolina State will overlook the Paladins tomorrow night?
I don't see it because of what happened last week in Starkville, Mississippi. I mean, the Wolfpack left so many plays on the field last week that I don't see how you could overlook the next opponent. I don't care who you're playing. You could be playing the Sisters of the Poor. You better go out there and win and look good doing it. Because if you don't, then you're going to have doubts when Clemson comes to town. And, as well as I do, that Clemson defense is going to be hard to move the ball against. I mean, the Georgia Bulldogs are a team that, they could end up winning the national championship. Clemson kept them out of the end zone. Now, Georgia won the game, but what's that tell you about the Clemson defense? So this is no game to overlook anybody or think all you have to do is show up. This is a team that's got to start getting its act together. And I think that everybody on the NC State football team knows it.
Now, before we let you go, what's the NC State party line scouting report? What's the North Carolina State radio broadcast scouting report on these Furman Paladins as we come to town tomorrow night?
Well, they're playing good football, Dan. There's no doubt about it. You can't get into Athlon's FCS top 25 just, being chopped liver. You got to be pretty good. And these guys are playing good football. They're 2-0. They shut out their last opponent on the road. They've got some experience. They run the triple option, plus they spread you out and throw the ball. Now, there aren't too many programs in college football that do that. I think they run the triple option maybe 35% of the time. Then they spread you out, and they can throw you and hurt you in the passing game. And they've got some pretty good talent. The tight end is a preseason All-American, Miller, and Wynn, the running back. From what I saw on the first two games and watching the coaches' video, looks like he's an exceptional player. And the quarterback, Sisson, I'm pretty impressed with what he's able to do. He's able to do a lot of different things. Sometimes, once in a while, he'll make a poor decision with a pitch, but looks like he can throw the ball. Looks like he can execute pretty well under pressure. And so, Furman's going to come in there to Raleigh like it's a Super Bowl. They're going to be jacked higher than a kite. And I think NC State's got to get into an early rhythm on both offense and defense. I think that's a big key in this game.
Yeah, it's going to be fun for Furman. This is the one time every year that our kids get a chance to come up and play in a game like that. And as we wrap it up, kind of unusual, too, that it's a night game. Normally, these FCS versus FBS games are played noon or in the early afternoon, but North Carolina State scheduled this for 7:30, so to get a chance to come up and play under the lights, I know that they're looking forward to it. It's going to be a fun one, Gary. Looking forward to seeing you there high atop the press box in Raleigh, North Carolina.
Bring your binoculars. It's a long way down.
Good stuff. Hey, thank you so much, buddy.
You betcha, Dan.
All right.
Look forward to seeing you.
That is Gary Hahn, the longtime and very fine play-by-play voice for North Carolina State. To break we go, and we will come back with a final segment to wrap things up and set you up for Rob Brown channeling Marc Ryan. Coming up at 3 o'clock here on ESPN Upstate. I'm Dan Scott. Don't go away.
The Rob Brown Show. Listen on your Amazon or Google smart speaker. Just say, play ESPN Upstate.
Hey, it's Rob Brown here to tell you about QC Kinetics. Listen,
You have
aging
5 minutes. I'll be right
is
back.
not my favorite thing in the world. And part of the reason why is the joint pain. I was an athlete through high school. I was an athlete through college. And on top of just the regular side effects of aging, when you were an athlete growing up, you wear down that connective tissue inside your joints, your ankles, your knees, your hips, your lower back, your spine, your neck, your elbow. I mean, all the joints, right? And when you wear down that connective tissue, you get that inflammation, that swelling. That's what causes that chronic pain. QC Kinetics can help you deal with that pain and get rid of that pain non-surgically. They're non-surgical regenerative therapy. You go in, you meet Dr. Richard Schaefer, MD, you get the regenerative therapy, and you're back to your day-to-day life. But you got to go now to QCkinetics.com, QCkinetics.com, or call 864-448-3772. It's our friends at QC Kinetics.
From the 106.3 WORD Weather Center, here's the Upstate's most trusted forecast on ESPN Upstate. A few spotty showers and thunderstorms at times this afternoon, with partial sunshine developing and a high around 83. Tonight, slight chance for rain and storms, cloudy, low of 68. Saturday, chance for storms, a high of 85, and Sunday, chance for storms, high of 83. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki on ESPN Upstate. Currently, it's 82.
Brian Radke here from Sunday Night Football on Westwood One. We've got a great one for you this week when Lamar Jackson and the Ravens play host to Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. Kansas City has won back-to-back AFC titles. Can they pick up a second key conference win to start the season, or will Baltimore bounce back from an overtime loss in Week 1? Join Ross Tucker and me to find out. It's the Chiefs and the Ravens on Sunday Night Football.
Sunday night at 7:30. The NFL plays here on ESPN Upstate.
At Ingles, we're proud to partner with Furman Athletics to bring you the very best of Paladin sports. And we're also proud to bring so many great game day options to the purple and white faithful, like the best meat in town, crisp, fresh produce, ice-cold beverages, and more. Whether you're loading up for that road trip or preparing for the homestand, we've got you covered. Ingles, a proud sponsor of the Furman Paladins.
Got a question for you. Do you know a strike from a split? Well, sounds like you're perfect for the Stone Man Bad Bowlers Club. Hey, it's the Stone Man, and for the next 8 weeks, starting tonight and every Thursday night, we're going to be hitting the lanes or the gutters over at Spare Time Entertainment on
Have
Road.
2
bring
minutes,
your team or just bring yourself, and don't worry if you're not
please get
that
me
good.
out of
It's called the Bad
5950
Bowlers
because
Club for a
Sports
reason.
Center
Come join us.
actually
Get on over to
happens at 3 o'clock. So
classicrock1011.com/bowl right now. That's classicrock1011.com/bowl to sign up. The Stone Man Bad Bowlers Club, only at Spare Time Entertainment on Congaree Road, sponsored by Michelob Ultra.
Hi, this is Cole Bryson, the play-by-play voice of the Burns Rebels. It's Burns at Gaffney tonight on ESPN Upstate and on the Odyssey app.
The Burns Rebels, powered by your local Ingles Market. 97.7 FM in Greenville, 97.1 FM Spartanburg.
That's a little
Staples
too positive
Connect has everything for school
around
at
here.
amazing prices. Right now, Staples one-subject notebooks are only 25 cents each, and Crayola 24-count crayons, 2-pocket poly folders, and 4-ounce Elmer's glue are just 50 cents each. So your student won't just be ready for school, there'll be tons of drawings to hang on the fridge ready.
We're going to need a bigger refrigerator.
Visit your local Staples store or
I predict by
staples.com/back-to-school and get
Wednesday you'll
amazing
be getting
prices
some
for
heat.
everything on your back-to-school list. Ends 9/18, limit 30, notebooks in store only. Offer may vary online.
Some people treat investing like a game, but Marcus by Goldman Sachs approaches investing in a smart way with digitally managed portfolios that leverage Goldman Sachs strategies.
1
So,
minute.
do you want to play games or do you want your money to work smart? You can money. Visit Marcus.com to learn more about saving, borrowing, and investing from Marcus by Goldman Sachs.
Well, it'll be posted on the podcast page, or I could probably send it to you.
Company, LLC. Member FINRA SIPC. Lending and deposits products provided by Goldman Sachs Bank USA. Member FDIC.
Okay. I will write it down, and I know I have your email, so I'll send it to you. And
Well, you can. When you use ZipRecruiter,
probably by
ZipRecruiter's
4,
technology finds
maybe?
qualified candidates for your open roles and proactively presents them to you. You can invite your top choices to apply to your job. No wonder 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right
That's
now,
all right,
you can try
because
ZipRecruiter for
I mean
free.
they're kind of
This
split into
exclusive
segments
website,
anyway in the podcast,
ZipRecruiter.com/Kellerman.
and each interview is its own segment, so it's not that hard to find.
KELLERMAN.
15 minutes could save you 15% or more. My dad used to say that. Sure, yeah. It's from Geico. Yeah, whenever
Or I can send you all of them. I mean, it's up to you.
He'd sit me down and say, son, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more. And look at me now, a well-adjusted adult with a drawer full of plastic bags I'll never use. Okay, I'm confused. Was your dad a licensed Geico agent? Nah, he was just a real good dad.
All right, so just to Brandon.
15 minutes could save you 15% or
Come
more.
back.
Join the Rob Brown Lockdown on Twitter. Tweet at The Rob Brown Show on the Upstate Sports Leader, ESPN Upstate.
Final segment before Rob Brown does his best Marc Ryan imitation from 3 to 7. Offsides with Marc Ryan will be hosted by Rob Brown, just as the Rob Brown Show has been hosted by Dan Scott. And again, there will be a quiz coming up later on. We've had a good run of guests today. I hope you've enjoyed it. Dwayne Vaughn, the Furman defensive coordinator, was with us. Dave Glenn, our ACC guru, my broadcast partner, Tom Van Hoy. Brandon Bennett, the former Gamecock and Bengals running back, and just wrapped it up with Gary Hahn, the play-by-play voice of North Carolina State. And now we turn our attention to getting ready for a weekend full of football. And I'm talking a weekend full. It starts tonight with Burns and Gaffney is what you said, Lonzo, right? With Cole Bryson on the call for that one, Burns and Gaffney.
Absolutely, we are 4 hours away from that.
Yeah, that's huge. It's big stuff. And then tomorrow, here on ESPN Upstate, it is Furman and North Carolina State, a 7:30 kick. The Pepsi countdown to kickoff will begin at 6 p.m. Hope that you'll join us. And there are ways that you can sync up the radio broadcast with the TV broadcast. So we always invite people to watch it, but to listen to our call of the game. And if you haven't heard our broadcast yet, now will be a good time to do so, beginning with the Pepsi countdown to kickoff. We bring you a lot of information. We've thrown out all the frou-frou, yuck it up, silly stuff, and we give you 90 minutes of football information prior to kickoff, and then the game broadcast, and that all starts at 6 p.m. tomorrow night. So we look forward to that. It's going to be a good one. And then, as I said a little while ago, in a week's time, a week from Monday, the 27th, I will be back in this seat for the entire week, the 27th through October the 1st. And then we'll see, because the text line today was running 6 out of 7 in my favor. Then that week, of the 27th through the 1st, that's when we'll see that the rubber will hit the proverbial road, as we say. We look forward to it. I will just remind you that if you'd like to kind of hear more of what I do in the meantime, I have a podcast cleverly titled The Dan Scott Show Podcast, which new episodes are starting to crank back up on that. And as always,
10 seconds.
These guys here on ESPN Upstate, Rob and Mark. Rob is coming up next. Thank you for letting me share a little bit of time with you today. Lonzo, good job. God bless you, and so long, everybody.
ESPN Upstate, WYRD Greenville, WORD Spartanburg, WFBC FM HD3.
An Odyssey station.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. The Green Bay Packers put linebacker Zadarius Smith on